Turn me up, I like my money like I like my niggas. Scream, face card, never decline of what I mean. Act up and you gon' make me make a scene. Only time you hear my voice is when they play me on the screen. Got bad habits, I'm not the one you wanna keep. She a trap star, put that lady on a tree. Got her ass so shook, she shaking like an apple tree. Yeah, this life ain't meant for you, but baby girl, it's meant for me. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. This lifestyle got girlies clocking on my teeth. This lifestyle can get you far, know what I mean. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. What it do? This my boo, she from the south. We running man just like these bitches run they mouth. I got the juice, but they still claim it, it's a drought. If I say I'm coming through, I'm about to flip the house. That boy crazy, say he tryna have my baby. Hold on, Slim Shady, just like Mariah, drive him crazy. Got him stressed, make him feel it in his chest. Ask him how it feel, just like a bullet with no vest. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. This lifestyle got girlies clocking on my teeth. This lifestyle can get you far, know what I mean. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. Turn me up, I like my money like I like my niggas. Scream, face card, never decline of what I mean. Act up and you gon' make me make a scene. Only time you hear my voice is when they play me on the screen. Got bad habits, I'm not the one you wanna keep. She a trap star, put that lady on a tree. Got her ass so shook, she shaking like an apple tree. Yeah, this life ain't meant for you, but baby girl, it's meant for me. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. This lifestyle got girlies clocking on my teeth. This lifestyle can get you far, know what I mean. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. What it do? This my boo, she from the south. We running man just like these bitches run they mouth. I got the juice, but they still claim it, it's a drought. If I say I'm coming through, I'm about to flip the house. That boy crazy, say he tryna have my baby. Hold on, Slim Shady, just like Mariah, drive him crazy. Got him stressed, make him feel it in his chest. Ask him how it feel, just like a bullet with no vest. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. This lifestyle got girlies clocking on my teeth. This lifestyle can get you far, know what I mean. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me.
Girl Alive and Bros, welcome to Let's Address It. Okay, so this is where the controversy, confusion, and cultural chaos gets handled properly. Baby, I address past and present scandals, common misconceptions and internet myths, wild viral moments, and old drama that still needs resolution. The things people think they understand until we dig deeper. If it's wild, weird, or wrong, baby, we're pulling up the timeline, the document, and the receipts with some grown woman commentary. Because I address it all, you might as well just call me Miss Addie. Let's get into this mess. This product is so important because not only is it produced with care, but it actually has proven results. There have been over 10,000 units of this sold. The company name is sharebutters.com, and this was developed with love by a woman who simply wanted to help her beautiful daughter as she recovered from the devastating effects of cancer, chemo, and radiation burn, and has helped many others with fading stretch marks, eczema, and many other skin issues. Check out the website as it has tons of other valuable products. Check it out. There will be a link and a discount code pinned in the comments section of this video. Welcome back, Vibers. What is going on? We are back and I missed y'all, okay? It's only been a couple of hours, but we back and ready to get into some more mess, okay? Before we get into the mess, we got to shout out another sponsor and then we're going to get right into it. If there are any birthdays or anything that we should be celebrating or acknowledging before we get started, let us know so we can get right into it. All right, then let's get into this. Now, what I'm introducing to you guys is a product called it's called Coochie Gel Wash, right? It is a wash that is specifically for your private parts down there. Okay. The Viber has developed this product and I think it's amazing. I've been using it since 2021 when Embrace Pangea. If y'all remember that one, when that one fell off, I wanted another, small business owner, preferably Black owned, that could provide a really good product that was better than what's in the stores. pH balance, hypoallergenic, mild, perfect. And then there's an extra little something that's involved in this wash, honey. And we'll have to talk privately about that one day, but just know that it's good stuff. Make sure you try it out. There will be a link and a discount code pinned in the comment section when we're done, but you got to check out. I promise you, you will not want another wash.
Experience the ultimate in feminine care with the Sweet Yoni Lavender Coochie Gel Wash. This soothing, lavender-infused formula ensures freshness and comfort all day, elevating your hygiene routine. Click the link and shop now.
All right, so let me see if our girls are having any situations going on. We got some birthdays or we just got happy Saturdays? We did all the birthdays this morning. That's cool. Okay. Malish Marie podcast says, hey, I knew this was coming, to be honest, because Angela support the pro-life situation, but never spoke on the woman that was dissected and kept on life support. I'll be honest. I feel like that situation turned into something political. A lot of people that are talking about it probably do not remember the lady it was a white lady that had a similar situation years ago. I want to say it was about maybe 25 or 30 years ago. And something seriously happened with that too. But if you guys want to talk about that, let me know, because we definitely can. That situation was definitely, it was a trip. You know what I'm saying? Like it was messy and it was crazy. And I'm going to, full disclaimer. Okay. Y'all know how I feel about TS Madison. TS Madison, in my opinion, is a bully of women. Okay. TS Madison, I believe, does not really like women. I don't believe that TS Madison respects women. I believe that T.S. Madison is a misogynist. T.S. Madison, in my opinion, is a patriarch in panties. And this can be noted from all of the times that we have heard Timothy disrespect womanhood. Okay. When I think about T.S. Madison, even for some of the graphics that T.S. Madison uses, I should probably put one of up there. I've used them for my thumbnails before, right? When we're talking about her, where she has the watermelon in front of her to look like a vagina, an open vagina and stuff like that. T.S. Madison, just think, if T.S. Madison were actually a woman, especially as a Black woman, we already are challenged with maintaining our image, right? Because people literally try and measure all of our value by the lowest common forms of us, the lowest forms of us, right? So they do not use someone that is respectable, educated, smart, just an average woman as the symbol. Okay. Whenever they want to use a symbol for Black womanhood, they find the most ratchet stereotype, right? And T.S. Madison is representative of that, right? T.S. Madison wants to move around in women's spaces as a bully, right? And as a patriarch, okay? Because what does T.S. Madison do? Threaten to whoop women's asses. I've seen T.S. Madison threaten to whoop Tasha K. Threatened to whoop many. Literally said that he would whoop bitches' asses. Okay, we've literally heard T.S. Madison say stuff like that. We'll never forget the bathroom incident where T.S. Madison was in a ladies' room with his dick and was complaining about the size of a woman's pad. Who does that as a woman, especially as a Black woman, knowing that we have a disproportionate amount of issues when it comes to our cycles, endometriosis, PCOS, and drop a blue heart if you have been a woman that gave birth or has PCOS or has endometriosis where you had to use the big pad. Okay. Some of us have had to use the big pad. Sometimes some of us use the big pad once a month anyway, because of what is going on with our bodies. And for someone that claims that they respect, like, or even is a Black woman to sit up there and use that as some sort of means to demean and like, it was crazy. It was giving a teenage boy in the girls' locker room seeing stuff that they're not supposed to see. And then this last fight that TS Madison had with Kaya, yeah, exactly. And I have Pretty Frugal said Diva, Pretty Frugal Diva said birth and PCOS. Same here. I have had birth, fibroids, and I currently have PCOS and endometriosis, right? And I'm on my period right now. Okay. Don't have a big pad today, but well, we know how this thing works. We know how these things work. I might have one by the end of the day. Okay. It's a part of life as a woman. And it's something that needs to be addressed in Black women. And it's underaddressed. It's underaddressed. And for someone, running around in our image, cosplaying in our image, to use that as a weapon, that's crazy work. Okay. The amount of pain. There are times when I can't get out of the bed. I'm literally in yoga poses for hours trying to relieve the pain. Okay. Which, by the way, if y'all want me to share some of the poses that I use from yoga that actually relieves the pain, sometimes better than pain medicine, let me know and I will do it. Okay. Because I think that everyone, look, if you're not using yoga to kind of like get rid of the pain and ease it, you are missing out on something. You definitely want to try it out. Okay. Those yoga poses are the truth. And there are times when it's literally instant relief. Okay. So again, let's go ahead and get into this conversation. The last fight that, look, I'll be glad when I get, I will be so happy when I get menopause, honey. Okay. Whether it's going to be induced by the doctor via surgery or naturally, I want menopause. I do not want to go through this anymore. Okay. Tell me that part says, please, because my daughter possibly may have endometriosis. Oh no, I am so sorry to hear that. I definitely will share the yoga poses. Okay. Cause it's a lifesaver. It's a lifesaver. Island girl, I have bad cramps. And yeah, exactly. Like embarrassingly heavy flow. Like when TS Madison was making fun of that pad, like, first of all, why are you and your dick in the ladies' room? Why is there a dick in the ladies' room? You know what I mean? And then how adamant he was when, the laws changed and was told that he had to stay out of ladies' spaces, which he didn't need to be there anyway, right? He was like, if I gotta pee, I'm going where that's a bully. That, like, women are walking around here crying about and screaming loud about the patriarchy. Baby, the patriarchy has entered the bathroom. The patriarchy is literally in the bathroom with us now. Okay. So when we sit there and act like, this is okay, which, by the way, honey, we're going to have to review some of the content from the DL Whisper, because he is serving major reads to that community. Okay. And I mean, it's on a daily basis. He has his foot on their necks. And typically, I noticed that women don't want to hear that from straight men, what he's saying, and don't want to hear from other women. So there's a small amount of refreshment there when it's coming from somebody from your own community. Okay. I am loving what he's doing over there. Okay. Tata Licious says, ladies with fibroids get the surgery if it's an option. My life drastically changed for the better after getting them removed. Yeah. And unfortunately, you know what? I think I'm just going to have to get everything out, the whole thing, because they come back, child. So listen, I'm going to share on Instagram really quick. I'm going to let a ad roll really quick. That is the ad for my book. and my credit repair kit that is only $5.99. Get your credit together, get your stuff together, muffins. And then we're going to get into this situation with TS Madison. Absolutely, unequivocally, no doubt about it. If you know anything about hoodoo, drop a blue heart if you do. If you know anything about it, then you know that T.S. Madison is out here warlocking on the girlies. Okay. And by the way, even before I show you guys these ads, listen, I don't like Angela Stanton at all. And you know what? It's not even a bad, I can't stand her type of thing. I just think that Angela Stanton is full of shit. And I'm going to tell you why. Just like recently, she's celebrating that Congress is saying, is basically shot down all the funding for Planned Parenthood, which most of us know that Planned Parenthood provides more than just abortions. Angela Stanton, I'm going to show you in just a second because T.S. Madison is going to talk about Angela. But Angela was the woman that exposed Phaedra back in the day. She wrote a book because she was doing scams and stuff for Phaedra with Apollo. And Angela I guess Phaedra was supposed to get her off and, take care of her or whatever, because she was doing money scams for Phaedra and Apollo. Well, we know that Phaedra, as much as I love my good sis Phaedra, okay, and as much as she has transformed into a bad bitch, she has never won a case, okay? She has never won a case, y'all. Phaedra has never won a case, all right? And she didn't win that case. And Angela said that Phaedra abandoned her while she was locked up. Now, all of her energy and all of her anger was directed towards Phaedra, which I find mammy-ish, right? She specializes in entertainment law. That's true. That's true. But so she typically wouldn't even be going into litigation, you know what I'm saying? But she's never won a case that she had to represent someone in that way. But so Angela felt like Phaedra just basically left her hanging. So she wrote a book exposing her. All kind of stuff happened when she got out of jail. Trump pardoned her, and that put her in immediate support of Trump. And I'm not mad at her because people are going to support who supports them. And so she was a super conservative at one point. But if you pay attention to her and you actually kind of know policy and stuff like that, you can see that she's full of shit and that she is not what she's claiming to be in conservative terms, right? So she has a business where she has something where single mothers who are pregnant and do not want to have their children or don't have any support. I'm going to take you guys over to her IG so you can see what I'm talking about. But if you don't want your children, or you are pressured into having an abortion, but you don't want to, you don't have any support, you can go to her place and have your baby. And they basically, have a group home for single mothers and stuff like that. Now, that sounds all wonderful. It sounds all saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost and loving and all this kind of stuff. Sidebar, some of these pro-abortion people are the most evil demonic forces. Anti-abortion. Some of these anti-abortion people are some of the most demonic people I have ever encountered. But that's another topic for another day. But yeah, it sounds really sweet, right? Oh, come to Auntie Angie's house so you can have the baby and all this kind of stuff. But you have to remember that this is a business. So instead of focusing on responsible reproduction, preventative measures, and the fact that there are more children that are born into situations that they shouldn't be born into, no mitigating factors for that. Some of these women are having babies that they don't want, abusing, and all this kind of stuff, right? She says, if you get pregnant, just have the baby and bring them to me. Well, of course, it helps her financially. So she's kind of how people say that Dems want Black people dependent on the system and stuff like that so that they can control them and control how much they grow and then benefit financially. That's Angela, in my opinion. And nobody can convince me otherwise, because if women
were more responsible with their reproduction, if men stepped up to the plate more and took care of their own children and supported the women that they impregnated, her business is in the tank. So of course she wants you to have your babies so that she can have a business. Okay. Tatalicious says it sounds like it is. It's a grift, honey. Okay. Gail said, hey, Gail, girl, she advertised it as assistance for Black women, but there were non-Black women in baby stand. Absolutely. Absolutely. She did. So it's, it's a ploy, and the Black community is so vulnerable to bullshit like that. But anyway, let's go ahead and get some of a few advertisements out of the way. We have my book, The Mammy DSM, and we have my credit repair kit that is $5.99. Get your ass. You didn't co-sign for Tyrone's ignorant ass, and you shouldn't have. Okay, let's get it together with the credit repair kit and get everything the way that it's supposed to be. It's $5.99. You can do it yourself. It's the same stuff that the credit repair companies use. So, and then there's my book, and all of this will be linked down in the comments section when this video closes.
Now listen, muffin. I love me a crystal. I love me a candle, some good affirmations, some good songs. But baby, the universe cannot bless what's buried under your laundry basket and your DoorDash bags under your bed. Honey, energy cannot flow through chaos. Your house is a mirror, and if it's a mess, so is your manifestation field. So before you sage it, baby, you got to straighten it up. Before you call it in, clean it out. Order is magnetic and clarity is luxurious, okay? You cannot manifest in a messy house. Tidy it up, okay? Rich girl, your blessings are trying to come through. Go ahead and join the... Listen, we need to talk about your credit, okay? I don't know your business. You know it, so stop and listen for a second. You already know that you need to refinance that car because a 20% interest rate is not cute for nobody. Get out of that bad loan. Get yourself into a better position. Slash your debt in half if your credit score is right. Listen, I used to have a car payment that was $875. All I had to do was get my credit in order, refinance it down, and I ended up paying only $500 a month for what I previously paid $875 a month. That can be you. I have a kit on my website, the Credit Glow Up Kit. It will help you. It gives you all of the templates and the tools that you need in order to fix your credit. You do not have to spend hundreds of dollars a month to let someone con you into thinking that you need that kind of help. Go to my website. It's really easy. It's $5.99. You can download it right away. Fix your credit, okay? Stop being embarrassed when you go to the car dealership. You sitting in there for 10 hours just to get financed because your credit is bad. Let's stop that this year. Did you grow up watching your mom choose men over you? Was she your first bully? Are you constantly drawn to men who expect you to suffer in silence and call it loyalty? Do you feel torn between loving the women that raised you and confronting them for their harmful mindset and ways? If you have ever felt unseen, unloved, or unprotected, especially by the very people who should have had your back, then the Mammy DSM was written for you. I put this to language, these experiences. I identify these deeply ingrained behaviors. I trace their roots, and I show you exactly how they shape your relationships and your self-worth, and even your ability to thrive. This book will help you name the patterns, unpack the pain, and break the cycle once and for all. Please heal, unlearn, and reclaim. Grab your copy of the Mammy DSM. The link to the book is down in the comment section.
Turn me up, I like my money like I like my niggas. Scream, face card, never decline what I mean. Act up and you gon' make me make a scene. Only time you hear my voice is when they play me on the screen. Got bad habits, I'm not the one you wanna keep. She a trap star, put that lady on a tree, got her ass so shook, she shaking like an apple tree. Yeah, this life ain't meant for you, but baby girl, it's meant for me. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. This lifestyle got girlies clocking on my teeth. This lifestyle can get you far, know what I mean. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. What it do? This my boo, she from the south. We running man just like these bitches run they mouth. I got the juice, but they still claim it, it's a drought. If I say I'm coming through, I'm about to flip the house. That boy crazy, say he tryna have my baby. Hold on, Slim Shady, just like Mariah, drive him crazy. Got him stressed, make him feel it in his chest. Ask him how it feel, just like a bullet with no vest. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. This lifestyle got girlies clocking on my teeth. This lifestyle can get you far, know what I mean. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me.
Okay, I'm back. I'm so sorry. I needed to do something real quick, but let's go ahead and get the show on the road. Okay, let's get the show on the road. Let me go ahead and pull this situation in here. So we're going to, you know what? Let's first actually go over to Angie's IG so that you guys can see where this popped off and what happened. Well, actually, I kind of want you just to kind of see what Angie's doing in relation to what I just said. And then we'll go straight to TS Madison's video so you can see this mess. Let's see. Angie Stanton. Me and her got into an argument about this on Instagram about a year ago. She ended up blocking me because like she just doesn't like she just don't get it. She has her, perspective, which, I definitely say that that's okay for her to have her opinion or whatever, but she is not willing to entertain that her position within all this is highly predatory. It's highly predatory. So let's get into it. All right. Let's share my screen really quick. Okay. So here's Angie's Instagram, right? And, like most of them, like she's super, super performative and stuff like that, for the girls and the boys or whatever. It's, for Black people, because she knows the emotional state that a lot of us are in. All right. So I just view her like, just like, like some of you guys were saying, like a grifter. Now, here's when I picked up on TS Madison doing some bullshit, by the way. If you guys can see, this is a message between, let me make it a little bit bigger. All right. So let me move this comment down. All right. Hey, boo, Scar Beauty. So this is a message between TS Madison and Angie Stanton, right? So TS Madison jumped in Angie Stanton's DMs and said, you love publicly making threats and things never turn out how you plan them. Be blessed. Wait a minute, I'm sorry. Yeah. You love publicly making threats to me. Things will never turn out how you plan them. Be blessed. Psalm 109 with a little sprinkle. Okay. With a little sprinkle. So, I didn't even read Angie's caption. Let's read her caption. So Angie said, and I'm going to break down what she said for those of you that are not familiar with the hoodoo tradition. Okay. She said, Angie Stanton wrote, he bullied Jess Hilarious Official. He bullied Nene Leakes and Miss Kaya Thug Mrs. But I send these ninjas running back to Jesus. I'm not about to play or tussle with these grown delusional men when it comes to my offspring. I said what I said, tread lightly and remember Jesus saves. So y'all know Angela has a son that is trans, okay? A son that has transitioned. And so that's likely what they got into it about. And Angie said, TS is heavily involved in witchcraft and black magic. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. We need to break this down. People in the comments are like talking about the psalm and you're a man playing dress up is super diabolical. It's because they don't know what they're doing, right? And Lexi Gray Rose says sometimes Psalms are witchcraft. Stay played up. Just reading a few comments so that you guys can see what's happening here. Someone says, wait, this isn't a girl. I'm so lost right now. Dr. Boyd says, I don't belong in 2025. The world's gone crazy. Timothy, quoting scripture, being a walking abominable contradiction with no repentance is diabolical. Someone says Adam and Eve and Adam and Steve, right? So the reason why TS Madison chose the 109 number of Psalm to go at Angie is because she's casting. And let me just pull up that verse so that you can understand what's happening here. And the reason why we know that this is not just someone fighting with scripture is because she put a little emoji right here, and she says Psalm 109 with a little sprinkle, right? Okay, so we're talking about, when she says that, we're basically talking about some we're literally talking about an occult practice, which means hidden. Okay, occult doesn't necessarily mean bad, even though some people think so. It just means hidden, by the way. Okay, so let's see. 109 Psalm. Okay, so in Hoodoo, the 109th number of Psalm is used as a prayer for protection and justice, especially against your enemies and stuff like that, right? A lot of people think it's like a mad psalm or whatever because it's for people who have done wrong to you, and that's what it's used for in Hoodoo, and very effective at that, right? So let's go ahead and read the 109th Psalm. Okay. Now what's so crazy is I used to know it by heart back when I was saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost, right? Okay. So this is the 109th Psalm, right? My God, whom I praise, do not remain silent, for people who are wicked and deceitful have opened up their mouths against me. So by the way, if somebody's talking shit to you, this is the Psalm that you want to be reading with intention, okay? When you're focused on that person, right? They have spoken it against me with lying tongues, with words, hatred that surround me. They attack me without cause. In return for my friendship, they accuse me, but I am a man of prayer. I'm glad that TS Madison is reading this as a man of prayer. Amen. Okay. It says, appoint someone evil to oppose my enemy. Let an accuser stand at his right hand. When he is tried, let him be found guilty, and may his prayers condemn him. May his days be few, and may another take his place of leadership. May his children be fatherless and his wife a widow. May his children be wandering beggars. May they be driven from their ruined homes. May a creditor seize all he has. May strangers plunder the fruits of his labor. May no one extend kindness to him or take pity on his fatherless children. May his descendants be cut off, their names blotted out from the next generation, baby. May the iniquity of his fathers be remembered before the Lord. May the sin of his mother never be blotted out. May their sins always remain before the Lord. Listen, and it goes on. So now we see why they call this the angry psalm, right? When someone is praying this psalm against you, especially the righteous person, because baby, I have put this psalm on people, right? The last time I put this psalm on this person, I'm going to tell y'all exactly who it was. Okay. Do y'all remember a grunting hoe that sounded like she had a leapfrog in her throat? They used to love running off here lying on me and my husband. Okay. That bitch went to jail a week later. Okay. This is for real. The other hoe that I put the 109th Psalm on, she walking around here with one lung now. Okay. So when someone is righteous, and it's another one, I don't know, and I know she around here in Vegas somewhere. She ain't got to tell me, but baby, I already know what's happening. Okay, so when you're in the righteous position, now you don't be unrighteous. Don't be a dirty bitch and use this song. That's not what that's for. But if you unrighteous and you bothering me and mine, baby, I'm going to pray the 109th over to you from the front to from the end, from the beginning. Okay? I'm just telling you. I don't pull it out unless I mean it, and unless you've been fucking with me in a real way. And it is very, no, you know what? No, this isn't even the one. I don't think that Danae Jackson did use a psalm. Okay, Danae Jackson doesn't even know it, right? As a super Christian, she basically did a return to sender spell using the Psalms. I don't remember which one she used. I don't think it was the 109th, right? But she definitely used it. She definitely used it. And I mean, isn't this not what the word of God is for? To protect you, to fight your battles. Okay. When you do it with the right intention, honey, it is extremely effective, but you cannot be the dirty bitch doing it. Okay. You cannot, or it basically is, it's going to fall on deaf ears, or you might end up fucking yourself up. Okay. But just really think about that. TS Madison, whatever argument that they had, she wants Angie Stanton done. Now, when she said a little sprinkle, understand she's not just reading scriptures, honey. Okay. Hey, my boo. What's going on? Hey, girl, alive. That's my boo. All right. So listen, you ain't got no range, girl. What's going on? So yeah. So listen, when she says that she's putting this psalm on Angie, right? What she's saying is she want her out here fucked up. That's what she's saying. She's saying that she want her out here fucked up and all this kind of stuff. And she literally put a little sauce on it because she said what? She said sprinkle. So more than likely, TS Madison got her a candle out. Okay. She's got some roots. Some herbs, some oils. Okay. But TS Madison better be cool, because you can't be a dirty hoe trying to use scripture and these powers and all of this kind of stuff to get one up on somebody. That's how you get messed up. You got to have clean hands, and it ain't nothing wrong with returning to sender, right? Ain't nothing wrong with that, but you can't be the aggressor and be, being the person that's wrong doing this. You just can't do that. And that's what happened. Now, maybe I did hear, and we're probably going to, let me get my boo her ranch child, cause what's happening over here, we don't know. So I did hear that Angela might have threatened TS Madison. I don't know if she did it for sure or not, but I think there's a threat or something, like she threatened to pow her. Him. So I don't know, but this is where I picked up on the warlocking, right? They've been beefing for a minute because, Angela does not like the fact that her son has decided to transition. She's been very vocal about that. And, TS Madison is a transformer himself. So he is definitely going to be on the side of that woman's son. And I just think when it comes to stuff like that with adult children and stuff, you gotta mind your business, especially when you can't give birth to none. Like, just, sit down somewhere. And I mean that with respect. Okay. So let's go over here to the video where this stuff kind of went down. And then after we do this one, because I don't know how long we're going to go into this, we're going to, there was another panel that discussed this, and our own Fuzzy Spirals jumped up on the panel. We're going to review that one, but I wanted to talk about this. Okay. So do me a favor. Don't forget to hit that sub button. Okay. Let's get into this. So this we will be handling. Okay. And let's go. So this is TS Madison. This is just a few days ago. And like I said, I don't care for either one of them, right? They both have agendas. They both have mess going on. But when it comes to this topic, as far as TS Madison disrespecting women and stuff, got his dick in the bathroom talking shit to women, look, has always threatened. I will never forget the day that TS Madison was threatening to whoop Tasha, threatening to whoop Kaya, threatened to like sit down somewhere, sir. Sit down somewhere. Like, just imagine a big burly Negro from Florida threatening you as a woman while in the bathroom trying to look like a woman, degrading women for having large sanitary napkins. Stop it.
Oh, now she want water.
Yeah, I do.
Where your cup? You want some more? I'm opening. No, here, girl, here the bottle, girl. Just here, you hood. Here, just you hood. Just let her have that bottle. A bitch can get hit with a bottle.
Okay.
Speaking of hitting a bitch with a bottle.
Oh, is this the area?
Speaking of hitting a bitch with a bottle.
Oh God.
Today I have been. I'm always under a lot of things, under attack a lot. Today
You're under attack. Boy, bye.
I've been reading the bitch.
Mm-hmm.
But Craig, help me here because I want to be right.
Go ahead.
I want to be right. I'm constantly being threatened, like on a constant basis, and I know people
And you're constantly threatening. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna stop. Let me go get some water so I can stop.
overlook it because they say you're a man. You're a man,
Mm-hmm.
and so because you're a man, you're supposed to constantly allow the things, and you can't say anything because you know. So today, Angela Stanton, since we're in the realm of Trump supporting, can we put her photograph up here?
Yes.
Angela Stanton went on this tirade of anti-TS Madison because I decided to just finally respond to her saying he's a man. I said, let's follow it. I want y'all to follow this here because I want y'all to follow me here to see where I get.
No, it's
a
screenshot.
Yeah, but I want to follow it correctly. I want y'all to follow me here. So the other day, the Jasmine brand posted that, you know, because TMZ came out to the show, they had these conversations, whatever, boom, 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 boom. So the Jasmine brand posted about it, and you know, Angela always finds herself under posts that deal with me.
Mm-hmm.
So the crazy part about it is I've never been disrespectful to this woman.
Mm-hmm.
I've never really called her out of her name. And I've never said threatening things against her. I've never done anything. This woman has, in the entirety of her knowing me, she's been to my house once when I had her on the show.
The Queen Supreme Court.
The Queen Supreme Court, when we were talking about her book. She's been to my house once. She's eaten food there. You know what I'm saying? She was okay. That didn't mean that we were friends. She just came over there to do the show. And then we never really talked about her. You know, we never said anything derogatory about her. Then fine ass Dustin came over here and did the show. And Dustin was reading her about being a Trump supporter. And even in the midst of Dustin tearing her up, I grabbed Dustin's hand because we have the video. I always can back up what I say. I have video footage of her, of me saying, Dustin, don't do that. I mean, I'm okay with her. Like, she can have her feelings, whatever. He was tearing her up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to stop Dustin from tearing her up, but he was wearing her out.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of her saying anything to Dustin, she decided that she wanted to become, you know,
your adversary.
Become my adversary, right? And
Okay, I have to stop, obviously, because we're, reviewing and we want to make sure that we keep in with the guidelines of fair use. So I want to say this, though. Listen, I understand people's issues with other people's political affiliations, but I do think that people need to mind their business, right? And I do think that we have to be mindful that Angela, she has since denounced him because she doesn't like, I guess, things that have happened lately, but he pardoned her. She got a pardon from Trump, right? So I think it's kind of unfair to basically try to say that she doesn't have the right to support her political candidate when she's benefited from it. You know what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense? I mean, I know a lot of people don't like him or whatever, but you got to like weigh the whole thing. So not only did she get a pardon from him, but she's anti-trans. And I don't know if she's anti-trans to where she just don't like them, or she doesn't like the fact that, the whole transitioning of children and all of that kind of stuff, which I'm vehemently against. A lot of people have strong stances against that. Don't even necessarily fuck with him like that, but on the strength of, I feel like I need to protect my children from these agendas, from what they're doing in school, from all of this kind of stuff. Some people voted for those were their interests. But I don't think it's fair to dog her out or call her a coon for supporting someone who pardoned her. I just don't think that that's fair. And also, TS Madison, of course, is not going to like that candidate, because that candidate says what? You gonna go back to what your chromosomes are on your passport, okay? There are only 2 genders recognized in this country. So, but you can't expect someone that, number one, especially if they're, if it's against their religion, their personal values or beliefs, you cannot expect them to say, yeah, I'm going to fight for your right to go in women's bathrooms. That's just not going to happen. That's not how that's going to work. Okay. And exactly. Malish Marie podcast says she loves her son, but I don't know why she acted to hate him for his support. My thing. I write that again, because I think I might have misunderstood this. Goddamn says, I blame women for his actions. Too much women embrace that lifestyle. Look, I think I am going to play a video of the DL Whisper, because he addressed that, and I think he knows what he's talking about. Okay. One other thing that I want to add, outside of TS Madison going into ladies' rooms and dissing women for having women's problems and arguing with women about their periods, what she said to Kaya, you're always on your period. Well, if you was a woman, you might always be in your period too, as a Black woman with fibroids, endometriosis, or PCOS, or just heavy periods, period. Hormonal issues, environmental issues. People that I know that do not even have PCOS or endometriosis or fibroids have had their cycles affected due to what has been going on environmentally since 2020. So you're not a woman, so you don't empathize with the plight of women. You don't get it, which is why I literally say and will stand on, womanhood not only is our, it's our DNA, our genetics, our biology, it is also a frequency. Because even if you are past the timing of having a cycle, or let's say your reproductive system was disrupted very, very early, there is a frequency to womanhood that you follow, that you understand. And there's lines that women with sound minds and empathy for women, for other women, and understanding what womanhood is, right? You just don't do. You just don't do. And you'll never understand, because that is not your frequency. You cannot put on makeup, lipsticks, and a wig and take dick up the ass and then think that makes you a woman. That's not how that works. It's not how it works.
And then as watching me tell Dustin not to do the things, so she decided that she wanted to just like get on the thing. So this has been going on for years. And so she got on the telephone and she was verbally telling me, I know where you live. Like, nigga, I know where you stay. Boy, don't play with me. And I'm like, hold on, baby girl. I'm not a felon, but I'm also hood. And there's not many times that you're going to tell a hood bitch that you're going to.
Okay, so Muffin, we are never going to dispute that you are hood. But what we are going to definitely have to get you to understand is that no, Angie is the hood bitch. You are the hood nigga. Okay? You're the hood nigga. You're not a hood bitch. I know you would like to be, right? I know you would like, but it's not the same thing, Muffin. It's not. It's not. Okay. And I will morph into a hood bitch on your ass if I need to. Okay. We won't do that. We're not going to do that. Let's continue.
Do the things to them, or you're going to have something done to them, or you're going to come to where I stay, because wherever I stay, I'm going to rest comfortably. Mm-hmm. In whatever house I live in, wherever place I pay mortgage, wherever I work.
How about resting comfortably in manhood? Ever thought about that? I mean, because it's got to be uncomfortable having to strap your dick down so that you could wear women's garments without, offending people, or without ruining the outfit. It's got how about be comfortable in manhood? I don't, what is wrong with being comfortable in manhood?
Yeah, wherever I am, me, the TS, shall reside there comfortably. Okay. So she loves to talk about,
and this is manhood at play, right? What this whole where he's asserting that, he's going to do whatever he's going to do comfortably. Okay. That's patriarchy. Okay. Because patriarchy says I'm going to throw my dick wherever I want to. I'm going to press wherever I want to press. I'm going to move how I want to move. That's how men operate. So we're not surprised by the brashness of this Negro. We're just not. Okay. What is this? This is true. Said, hey, Muffin, don't forget to look into NovaSure to stop your period. It also slows down the growth of fibroids. You know what? I have been trying to remember what that was. I think you told me this last year. Thank you so much. Thank you for that.
Her pulling a strap and stuff on me. Now this is a woman, right? Mm-hmm. This is a female that does this stuff and then hide behind the guise of, if I respond to her, I've never responded to her in even in a dirty way. Here we go. So she started here. She says, he's a man. And so I put, you still bothered? Tis, tis, tis. That's why God blessed you with a beautiful trans daughter. She said, right, the one you wish was yours. Birthing a child is something only women can do. I'm like, oh God, here we go with this. All right. Then I put the clapping hands like that, and then she told me to bow down. So in dissecting this first area, go back to that first. In dissecting this first part, Craig, I'm understanding what's going on here. Mm-hmm. What's going on here is there's two things. She's upset because she's a phobe, mm-hmm. and God has given her a beautiful trans daughter. JB's is a beautiful trans woman. And also she feels because she's a woman and I'm trans, or trans people need to be bowing in the space of, I do believe that she thinks in her mind that our existence is a disrespect to her. And that's how
you're trying to co-opt what womanhood is a disrespect to women. Now, some women don't feel that way. And the way that this world has gone, people are cool with that shit or whatever. But honey, let's unpack this part of saying that that's a phobia, or that somebody is transphobic because they don't agree. This is exactly why I came up with biofemphobia, okay? Because there's some oppression that is supposed to be attached to a phobia, right? Okay, we're not doing anything to y'all. Look, I will be the first to say, these people, they deserve the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness like everyone else. Okay, I do not condone the bullying of trans people. I do not condone them being hurt, them being unalived, or anything. You don't have to do that, right? But when I talk about biofemphobia, it is more applicable than any kind of phobe that you could come up with. Because women not wanting to be disrespected, not wanting to be diminished is something completely different. So check it out. Biofemphobia is the diminishing, the silencing, or the oppression of women for the advancement of trans people or anyone that is trying to basically do this at our detriment. So if your existence means that I have to be called cis, or your existence means my granddaughters have to enter into a locker room where there are dicks because you want to decide that you want to be what we are, that's oppression. That's oppression, okay? Saying that a woman is a birthing person, okay? Or calling people bleeders, that's biofemphobic. There is no disrespect in saying you're not like us. There's no disrespect in that. There was no disrespect in telling Rachel Dolezal that you might love Black people. You might do damage to a Black cock, honey. That might be your thing, but that does not make you a Black woman. There is nothing wrong with that. That is there, like to say that, to call people birthing people, insane. So we got to be disrespected and we have to have pronouns so that you can, no. And I've said this from the very beginning. You should be fighting for the T. You should be fighting for the T. Fight for your trans opportunities. Fight for your trans spaces. Fight for your trans legislation. Fight for your trans identity, not ours. You have your own. Okay? You like, why would you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you oh yeah, that did it for me too. Bonus hole. Bonus hole was too much for me, baby. That was too much, because that's suggesting that the asshole is the main hole of any person or the superior one, whatever. Okay, to call it a bonus hole when literally if that hole did not exist, you would not be here. That is so disrespectful. So disrespectful. Let's continue. I'm probably got to take this shit down, y'all. Or I know I'm gonna have to edit the shit out of this video.
Like the multitude of them feel our existence is a disrespect to them.
But also it's the assumption that women who think like her, the assumption that all trans women desire to be a mother, to give birth, to have kids. Like I tell you, there are natural born women who don't want children.
I tell them all the time, I don't give a fuck about kids. I'll kick a kid across the street, bitch. Mm-hmm. But that's another, I'm not in that space for her.
And here's the thing. We're going to let you rest with that. You know, what this person that says that they are a woman would do, right? So here's why it's problematic. Their numbers, if they're counted as us, now think about this. Most violent crimes are committed by men, okay? There are certain things that are just men things. Not that women don't do it, but specifically it's a man's crime, a man's thing to do. They actually can literally rip our image apart by what they do. You know what I mean? By like literally padding our numbers with their bullshit. They're men. And they do men shit. You know? But yeah, like let's talk about that. Like, how many women would say that? And if a woman does say that that's what they will do to a child, typically we don't fuck with her. We just don't. Because even if you don't give birth, never will, don't want to, if you have a healthy mind, you do not want to harm a kid. Now, if your kid bad and the kid put their hands on you the wrong way and they big enough, that might be a different, but no context to say that I do this to a kid. What? What do you mean, sir? Very, very manly to me.
I'm showing you how this is how. So then I swipe, and then she says, I said, bow. I said, ma'am, enough time has it been given to your peasantry. Again, there is nothing you are that makes me jealous. And my mother is beautiful, thanks, because she started trying to wear into my mother. So she said, your mother is voiceless, is a voiceless, trapped dependent.
Oh, wow.
I said, My mother, because I needed her to receive this. My mother is an example to real mothers. Never would she have been flipping cars for niggas. And never would she have been handcuffed to a bed giving labor.
TS Madison is here. TS Madison says, I will be flagging your channel for using my content like you did before. Of course you would. Because here's the thing. Like men, you try to bully women that have an opinion, just like a man would. So of course you would. You're a bully. You're a bully. Because you know why, Timothy? You can't stand on it. You can't stand on it. That's why. That's why you would do that, because that's what men do. And not to mention, you know, I love how you guys like to be fake pro-black. Let's talk about it for a minute. Let's talk about it for a minute, right? You know how they like to be fake pro-black, and we're supposed to go and fight for their rights because, oh, we're black people too. See how these niggas are going to get the white man to silence you. That's patriarchy, baby. That's patriarchy. A nigga that is operating within a patriarchy will always go get the system to make a woman bow down. Won't he, Timothy? Won't he, Timothy? Won't he? Oh, absolutely have flagged me before. Absolutely. Think about it. A nigga who is operating in patriarchy will bully a woman into submission and silence her using the motherfucking system. So now, since we flagging, bitch, let me give you something to flag. Let me give you something. Let me tell you something, bitch. You pull a psalm up on me, ho, you'll never recite it again. Cause bitch, I got them motherfucking roots, okay? Pull that shit with me. Because I know what the fuck you are. JM, I don't give a fuck what that nigga is saying. That nigga is a bully. That nigga is that's what men do. That's what men do. When they can't make you bow down, they create laws and scenarios to silence you. Right? Because see, you got to remember that there are men. There are men that are behind these motherfucking laws that are allowing these men to bully women and play with their identities. There are men doing this. Okay? This is why we call it the pink patriarchy, right? The patriarchy in panties. Okay? When we get through talking, girl, it don't matter. It don't matter, because as soon as you come in operating as a patriarch, as you cosplay in our image, as you play games with that, it's fair game. But here's the thing, honey, I have a husband here. You can disrespect me if you want to, because you would have to deal with 6'7", okay? Am I angry? You damn right I'm angry, because you're being a phobe, TS. Timothy. You're being a phobe. You are being a phobe. You know what that is? You know what biofemphobia is? It is when people like you want to take liberties with people like me so that you can advance yourself. Okay? But here's the thing that you need to understand, Timothy. I always win. I want to be violent. What's violent is you talking shit to women about their women parts. That's what's violent. What's violent is taking your dick into a bathroom with women to laugh at their sanitary napkins. What's violent is for you to try and drag Kaya about her menstrual cycle as a black woman because she has them frequently. You know, that's what we have, nigga. You know, that's what happens with black women, nigga. We have PCOS. We have endometriosis. We have things that are specific to us. Honey, you don't have no intellectual property. You don't have intellectual property. What's intellectual about this? Reviewing your content that you put on YouTube, and I want you to know something. One thing that I checked, sir, was that you said you did not click off in your YouTube studio that you did not want people to remix your content. So consider yourself remixed, ho. That's but y'all don't see this. Y'all don't see. Do you guys see what I'm talking about? Do you see what I'm talking about? The minute a woman stands for herself and stands on principles, a pink panty wearing patriarch will come in and use that same system against you. You women who sit there, exactly, the person who says they will kick a kid, the person who says that they will kick a kid. I done got pissed off for real. And you know what? I'm about to go get this. You know what? Go play with your motherfucking prostate gland. Go do that. Go do that. Go play dress up. I'm talking to women. I'm talking to women, sir. I am talking to women. Exactly. Women are soft targets for them. Women are soft. That is what these niggas do. Like, this is the thing. This is exactly why I tell y'all all the time. You notice we do not have this issue from trans men. Why? Because your nature is going to do what your nature does. The nature of men is to literally do what? What do men do? They come in and they try to run shit. They tell you how to think. They tell you how to feel. They want to tell you how to be a woman. They want to tell you what you're supposed to do. They want to tell you what you are and aren't going to do. That's what men do. But the trans people that are the trans men, what do? The men, they don't have this problem, do they? If y'all don't understand that this is a complete attack on femininity and on womanhood, you got to be slow. Men are not having the same problems that we are having out of the trans community, because why? The natural order of a woman is to do what? Follow, right? Women have been conditioned to submit to manhood. Men have been conditioned to have women submit to them. This is why TS Madison is in this chat room trying to make sure she forces me to submit to him. But the men don't go through that, do they? When the trans women go into their community and they do what? They sit down and eat. They eat their food. They sit down and they submit to the culture that the men have. All baby, look, watch this. Let me show you something. Remember what I told y'all about that 109 number of Psalm? You got to be a righteous individual to work them roots, baby. Okay, you don't pull out the psalm, the root, and the oil and the power of the creator, baby, and not be from a righteous standpoint, baby. I represent the divine femininity. You are an obstruction of it. Okay, you are an obstruction of it, a retardation of it, even. If you don't get the fuck out of here, you know what? Baby, you done started something now. You have started something. You have started something. I'll tell you what, though. Watch this. Watch this. Because let me tell you, I'm not none of them bitches. I ain't scared of you. Honey, ain't no blessed be, you blessed be. Honey, if you make it another 10 years with your dick intact fucking around with me, you're doing good. You're doing good. So anyway, let's do a little something that we do in our manifestation group real quick, ladies. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's combine all of our energy, all of our intention, all of this divine feminine energy that is in this space. Let me get this nigga off my screen while we do this. Okay? And let's center myself. All of the energies up under my voice that is representative of divine femininity, of true authentic womanhood. We combine energies in this space, honey, and we rebuke the demon that is Timothy S. Madison. Okay? Everything that you say and speak and try and condemn upon a woman, an actual woman, shall return back to you in ways that you never ever wanted. Cursed going in, cursed going out. Honey, everything you touch will fail. Every door you open will slam, honey. Every one of them. Okay? You don't have a heel to moon, baby. Baby, you can the moon does not heal you. The moon works under my command, bitch, not yours. You got it twisted. Y'all better stop getting on TikTok playing. Baby, you can't pick up what's bloodline from TikTok and from internet searches. No, this is divine feminine right here. Okay? Baby, we are united and you will lose. You will lose. You will not prevail. You absolutely won't. Look, she said driving you crazy. Baby, what makes you think you can do that? What makes you think, baby, you can't drive nobody crazy? Baby, that's what you doing. That's why you got titties. Baby, that's why you wear wigs, because you're already crazy. Look at you, you little demon. You don't even know how to do the Psalms right. You around here with makeup on talking about you a woman and you calling me crazy? Baby, your chromosomes is X and Y. X and Y. Okay? In 1,000 years, when they find the remains of your decrepit dead body, the anthropologist is going to say, there lies a man. There lies a man. No matter what you say, no matter how much dick you suck, no matter how much dick you put in the anus where it does not belong, baby, in 1,000 years, when they find your tattered body, the anthropologist will say, X and Y. X and Y. Now, I understand you probably are sitting to piss because you big as fuck, right? You's a big bitch, right? So you sitting down. Yeah, baby. So you sitting down. But baby, not only will you sit, baby, you will bow. You will bow. And every single thing, every single energy, every single bullet that you throw at my way, honey, 25 are coming back at your head. You're in the middle of a mental health crisis. You're in the middle of the highest form of self-hate. Honey, you can't even reconcile with yourself. I rebuke you, you fucking demon. You fucking demon. Okay? And with that, I'm reclaiming my time, okay? And baby, I hope that you take the prep that you're telling women to take, because baby, that disease was meant for you. And stop telling women to take prep when prep has not even been approved for women, but because you hate women, you would tell them to take it. You would tell them to take it in preparation for the demonic disorders that come with dealing with the likes of you. Honey, we don't deal in the natural, we deal in the spirit. Okay? And all you demon motherfuckers will bow down. This is what I promise. Okay? The fact that your entire identity was erased with an election. You can't erase my identity. You can call YouTube, baby, you can call Google. You can call anybody you could call anybody that you want, but you could never erase my identity. You can never erase my identity. Yours got erased with the stroke of a pen by a nigga with a wig on. An orange-hued man had the power to take away your identity. In fact, since you want to drop crystal balls, baby, let me get my cards. I think we need a Timothy reading real quick. Let me grab this sage real quick. Okay? Let me grab some things and I'm glad you're here, baby. Stay right there. I got you. I got you, nigga. Okay? And let me put on some music so that you understand how to conjure. Bitch, this lifestyle is meant for me, not for you. Not for you. Okay? Okay. Oh, she's sitting up there talking rich as fuck. Would y'all please tell this bitch what I'm sitting on over here? You have no power at all. Honey, we are the beginning and the end, honey. We are the portal, honey. We are the power. We are the power. Okay, let's go ahead and do this real quick, baby. Let's go get some cards for you. We really don't have to, because Q done already read your life before, but I'm gonna read it again. Okay, I'm gonna read it again, Muffin. Hold on. You know what? Who want in on it? Let me drop the link. Let me drop the link. Timothy, here we go. I'll drop the link. Anybody need to if anybody needs to hold it down for Timothy really quick while I go and get some cards and read this nigga. Okay? I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Turn me up, I like my money like I like my niggas. Green face card, never decline of what I mean. Act up and you gon' make me make a scene. Only time you hear my voice is when they play me on the screen. Got bad habits, I'm not the one you wanna keep. She a trap star, put that lady on a tree. Got her ass so shook, she shaking like an apple tree. Yeah, this life ain't meant for you, but baby girl, it's meant for me. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. This lifestyle got girlies clocking on my teeth. This lifestyle can get you far, know what I mean. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. What it do? This my boo, she from the south. We running man just like these bitches run they mouth. I got the juice, but they still claim it, it's a drought. If I say I'm coming through, I'm about to flip the house. That boy crazy, say he tryna have my baby. Hold on, Slim Shady, just like Mariah, drive him crazy. Got him stressed, make him feel it in his chest. Ask him how it feel, just like a bullet with no vest.
Hey, Fuzzy girl. So, Timothy wants to play. Hey, Timothy, I'm glad that you came to play. I like to play, Timothy. So let's see. Let's get into it real quick. All right, here come Timothy.
You know when they pick out the car.
Yes. Hey, boo.
What's up, Tim?
Hey, boo. How you doing, babe? You doing?
I'm doing amazing. I'm doing amazing. Now, get through telling. Okay, so tell us about this. Tell us about this cursing that you were doing of me.
Ma'am, you were having a very deep conversation about me. I don't know you to curse you.
I was having a deep conversation of what you do, how it affects women. How it affects women.
Excuse me, Queen. You were having a conversation about me, and you were talking from a place of not even knowing me. You were talking from a place of what you've picked up from all these other platforms talking about me. So we're here now. Talk to me.
Okay. So let's do it. Let's do it. Let's talk to you. So here's the thing. I'm talking to you. Okay. So here's what I will tell you. What I was talking about was what I have seen you do, not what other people have seen. What I've seen you do, like such things like let's take your recent fight with Kaya. Now I know people get into it with get into it. I don't even like Angela, to be perfectly honest with you, right?
Okay.
I think
all right. Okay.
But this is my problem.
Ma'am, my pronouns are she and her. I have not disrespected you. If you choose to, my name is not Timothy. My name is legally Madison Hinton. All of that's been changed. I've done the things that I needed to do to take care of myself. I didn't come in here to be disrespectful to you.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Right.
Okay. Let's talk. Madison.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So there was a fight that you had with Kaya, which the ins and outs of the fight, ins and outs of people fight. So it's like, whatever. I get that, right? My problem is this. You're operating within womanhood, right? Or a form of womanhood, right?
Yes. But let me be clear.
Let me finish.
I don't claim to be a female. I've never claimed to be a female. I'm a transgender person.
Okay.
And I think that what people have gotten this thing misconstrued, have listened to everybody do this and everybody do that. I don't think that I'm a female. I've never thought that I'm a female, and I am a transgender woman, meaning that I know that I was born male. I am male to female, and I am not a female. So I've never called you birthing tools. I've never used the terms. My mother is a female. So I don't want them using those terms against my mother. I don't call my mother a breeder, but I'm sorry I'm sorry to cut you off. I just wanted to get that out because
Okay, so
I didn't have a chance to, you know, defend myself from that. But
I get it,
okay.
but go ahead. But you know what I want you to do, because I did say a lot. And I want to say, I do want to have the conversation with you.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
do. So I want you to say exactly what you felt and what your issue is with what I was saying.
Well, my issue was, it's like, with the Angela thing, I don't bother with Angela. I don't really bother with anybody. My thing with Angela was she's on several occasions told me that she knows where I live, that she'll shoot me, that she'll bring a dude to my crib. And it's just like, ma'am, I don't even say this stuff in your direction. My problem is I'm not women's problem. Women feel that I'm the problem because I'm very outspoken. I have had disagreements with a lot of women publicly. I've said vile things because vile things have been said to me. I read Tasha K done read me. I read Kaya done read me. I done read the alien done read me. We done read back and forth. I get it. I can't make everybody like me. That's fine. But what I don't like is when people don't operate in facts. Fact one, when this last situation just happened with Kaya, I wasn't bothering her. I was in DC doing my job, working, you know, doing whatever. I just had my day and whatever. They booked Kaya to come do the gay pride. She got on stage and she said, she's called me a nigga, a dude, a man. That stuff doesn't bother me. I really want y'all to understand how deeply that does not bother me, because I know I'm not a female. So that doesn't bother me. My problem is the lie that she told was that I tried to stop her bag. And I was more necessarily upset with the promoters, because the promoters knew that I've never called. These people have booked me before, so they know my phone number, they know my email, they know I haven't ever reached out to anybody to try to get this girl bag shop. I don't do that. That's not my swag. Now, and you thought that I flagged your channel before. I didn't do that. Maybe my fan base did, but I was saying that in your chat because I was mad. I'm gonna be honest. I was saying that in your chat because I was mad. I'm like, bro, instead of her reading me like this, why don't she just ask me? Why don't she just send me a message and be like, TS, I want to talk to you about this situation that happened. I'm not the person that people make me out to be. Now, I don't fuck with the alien. Now, I don't fuck with Michelle. I don't fuck with her because she had all the ample opportunity for us to have a conversation, to be like, whatever. But she chose to go the dark route that she did, whatever. So I don't fuck with her. But I've seen your channel before. I've seen you run me down. I've been like, oh God. She don't know. She just tearing me up over here, and that's not. She don't have it all the way, but all right, whatever. You know, I got a strong fan base, so my fans probably was over there. I'm telling you verbatim from me to you, I have never flagged your page. Now I was gonna flag this video. I was, but but when you opened the floor and said, "Well, let's chat," I'm like, okay, we're here we go. I think the disconnect between me and women is I have a brash way of the way that I express myself, or maybe I say things in a harsh way. And then not to mention, there are videos out there of the way people have flip-flopped things in their way. When I read Kaya from the space of, ma'am, you and I were friends. You know, I know a plethora of your business. You know some of mine, but I know a plethora of your business. And you know for a fact that if I wanted to terrorize you, all I got to do is X, Y, and Z. The same way we got the same stuff on each other. So why would you go on this stage in front of all these gay people and tell this lie that I tried to stop your bag? That's not true. I did not do that. Now, have we been in the past back and forward or whatever? Did I make mistakes on the way that I handled the situation with the Queen's Court? Yes. Yes, I made mistakes in that. Yes, and I've talked about this incessantly on my own platform. Like, I wished I would have did things maybe a little bit different or did stuff a little bit better. But you know, here we are. She blocked me. We couldn't talk about nothing, whatever, and we became separated and enemies. You know. Hold on, wait a minute. You said by what? Go. You said I threatened Tasha K, and that's
that's my husband. He said you threatened Tasha K. But go ahead. I want you to address each thing the way that you finish it out.
I'd like for you to tell me, how did I threaten Tasha K?
So I specifically remember, and I don't want us to skip over it because I think the audience, and I do appreciate you actually coming up to go ahead and have the conversation. I do respect that.
Yeah,
but
ma'am, because I'm cool. If people knew me, but yes, ma'am. So let's get this out of the way. Let's tell me what you
Tasha
saw.
K piece, the Tasha K piece, I specifically remember you threatening to kick her ass.
No, I didn't.
You know what I mean? And it's like,
but tell me, what did I say? Sister,
you know
tell
what?
me what I said. Did I tell me what I
Yeah,
said?
you threatened to whoop her ass and her husband ass. Now verbatim.
No, it was her husband. I did say her husband because I don't threaten women. No, it was her husband. I did say, because I said she got a feminine ass, faggot ass, motherfucking husband, pussy ass, hoe ass. I did say that about her husband because I know that I'm not going to be, in no space or perceived anyway if I'm online threatened to hit a woman, threatened to jump.
So I feel like this is what I heard, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, and we can fact check later or whatever.
Okay.
I believe that you said something because I remember my response to what you said. That's why I'm pretty sure this is what happened. I believe that you said we two bitches from Florida, and basically, we could get it in, and it was like it was a physical thing.
No,
it was like
what I was implying was we two bitches from Florida, bitch. You know how we Florida girls give it up. Like I got some hoes that'll stomp her out, cause I do. I got sisters and shit too. So I got females that'll whoop her motherfucking ass, And it's the same way. That's why I talked to her husband. I read her and then I spoke to her husband. Now Daniva said something different. Funky Daniva said something different. I was like, girl, even when Daniva said it, I called Daniva, was like, well, girl, why you said that? Because you know what them people gonna do, girl. Just that. And this was that's the cunt. They gonna be on your ass about that kind of shit. Now her husband is a different story because it's like, nigga, what's happening? And my problem with Tasha K was this, right? You done came to my house. You done ate. You done chilled here. Now you've come here several times. We've helped each other in the space of helping each other with content. Like, where did this come from? Me trying to figure out, like, where did this aggression towards me come from? And from my understanding was, she was like, well, TS, I'm taking up for just hilarious because you said women don't own womanhood with periods. I said, well, when did I say that?
So you didn't say that?
Ma'am, I did not.
Okay.
I said that woman and female are two different things. Well, woman and female, I said Jess should have said when she was saying about only women can have periods. Yes, only females can have periods. There are trans men who are females that don't identify as woman. They identify as man. So I understood what the person, the trans person that was saying, I understood what her context of it was. Her context was that women don't own periods. I understood what she was saying. At first, when she first said it, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because only females can have periods. I wrote that in the comment section under the video. But after I watched the video and she was talking about it, I said, oh, okay, I got it. I got it. But then DL Hughley got on the radio and he played the tape of the person that said the shit and said it was me. And I'm like, bro, why don't you go clean that shit up? Because I've never said that only females can have periods. So I've never said anything like that.
Okay, so yeah, that is something that I heard. I can't necessarily say that I heard you say it, but I assumed because everybody said it that you actually did say it.
I did not say anything like that, and I would not say anything like that. I would not say that because we're male. We were born male, so we can't have.
So I think that what Jess is probably saying and what most women are saying, because I don't know how Jess is. How old Jess is. I'm Gen X. Okay, I'm a half a century over here, and
me too.
Woman. Okay, I figured as much. Woman and female. Up until recent years was woman and female was the same thing. It was interchangeably used. You go to women go to the OB-GYN. Females go to the OB-GYN. Women get pap smears. females get pap smears, and now all of a sudden there's a language change, right? Uh-oh, are you frozen? I didn't kick you, still up here. Here, let me give you the link again. I think you need to click the link again. Okay, here you go. All right, let me remove this one. And okay, you froze for a second.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
This one, that's okay.
Now, come on, sister. Let's be real. Do you see how we are having a conversation and it ain't nothing? I've been this way. I don't get into the whole. I don't like the way that people have painted this picture out of me or whatever, or piece videos. I'm going through the same shit with the damn Latin community because of the because a motherfucker was reading me and I told them to get out from under my motherfucking comment section and get under the bed because ice outside. Now I'm racist. I just feel that people got to understand that if somebody comes at me with vitriol, I return the same vitriol to them.
That part I definitely understand and can identify with, right? Let's get into the what I find, because here's what I need to tell you too,
yes,
so
ma'am.
that you know how I am.
Mm-hmm.
Flame Monroe.
Okay.
Met Flame Monroe maybe 30 years ago. I met Flame Monroe. Much respect, right? Because there was a difference in how Flame Monroe carried on as it related to women than what has been happening. You know what I see from you, and this is and let me explain what that is, right? And not to say that you got to be Flame Monroe, because y'all are two different personalities, two different people. Yes. But when you say stuff like, you know, I really took it personally for a lot of reasons with women. When you brought up the conversation about the pad, when you talked about this huge pad, you know, a black woman. Let me finish, baby. Black woman. We have the highest rates of PCOS, endometriosis, fibroids, all this kind of stuff. I will probably have on a big ass pad tomorrow.
Okay.
Understand? So it's like, as you operate in, you know, in a woman's capacity to some degree, you hold on a second. Taz was coming up here. I think I just saw Taz come back. As you operate, you know, in women's spaces as a woman, and especially as a black woman, do you know how insensitive it is? How much pain we are in? And then you did it again with Kaya. Then you said you always bleeding. Bitch, I'm always bleeding too.
Well, I was tearing her up because, all right, it was a blanket statement, but this was personal stuff that me and her knew with each other about some personal shit that we knew. So when I'm reading a person that I know personally, it comes off as a blanket statement. I'm going to go back to the pad thing. With the pad thing in the bathroom, I was in the bathroom. I used the bathroom. It was me and another woman went in the bathroom, like another biological woman, because I don't use the word cis. I don't like using the word cis because I can't never get a message across because the people won't get past the word cis. So I don't use the word cis. So me and another biological woman came into the bathroom, and when we walked in the bathroom, the lady had her pad hanging over the front of the stall instead of her having it, you know, having her pants hanging on the inside of the stall. And I was like, damn, that's a big ass pad. Me not thinking in a space like that, and the lady behind me was like, oh my God, like we were both gagging that the lady had her pants off and the shit hanging over in the front of the damn the front of the stall. So we both gagged. I didn't really think nothing of it like that, you know. And I came outside and I got in the car. I was like, girl, you know, just talking to my audience, saying, girl, bitch, that's the biggest pad I ever seen in my life, you know. But I didn't. So I can understand how women. I can honestly say in this conversation, I can honestly say, like, I know I can see where women can see that was insensitive. Maybe she was having a heavy flow, whatever. I was raised by women in a house full of women. That's why I'm a damn goddamn queen. So, you know, I've seen a big pad. I've seen a big pad from my aunts, my mom, or whatever. So I get it, but it was just like, why the hell do I see this pad hanging over the front of the stall? Like, as a woman, is coming into the women's bathroom, like me and the lady behind me, we were both blown away. Like, damn. You know, and I didn't really mean anything by it, you know, from the space, whatever. But I did vlog about it, like, because I had never seen anything like that before, like a person having their pants hanging over the front of the stall. And I'm like, well, why does everybody outside got to see the inside of your pants, why didn't you hang your pants the other way so that your, panties or whatever was on the inside? Like nobody really sat with me and asked me this. Like nobody talked. You're the first person to really ask me this. And I'm like, I can see now by having that discussion how that would have been, insensitive.
Yeah,
to
that
women.
was it was because like that's the pad that you get when you give birth.
Yeah,
because that's the pad that you get when you have like, I have to get those kind of pads sometimes because
I have to listen. I got to get them for my mama because my mother has these. My mother goes through time. My mother has been through fibrosis. My mother has been through cysts on her ovaries and stuff like that. Like I've been through all the things. I'm not a female, but I have had shared experiences because I've been through all the major ups and downs and shit with my mama. And this is why I'm so very protective of my mama. And the first thing that those women who we have all named in this do, they attack my mama. That's the first thing that they do, which makes me explode on them. Especially when my mama done fed them. My mama has fed Tashkay. My mama has fed Kaya. You know what I'm saying? Like my mama has been, they have had their own personal friendships with each other. And so this is why I'm like, why do you leave my house and go out here and you do this stuff when you feel a way about me, you start attacking Miss Mary, knowing that I'm not gonna say nothing to you first. Like I'm not gonna say nothing to no broad first. Like if a broad over there doing all that yapping and doing all that talking shit, I'm not gonna say nothing to her motherfucking ass first. But she start wailing on Miss Mary, oh, it's up. Because my mama
nobody's not gonna let nobody attack their mama.
Especially my mama don't be bothering them, and my mother has mobility issues and shit like that. My mama don't be fucking with nobody. So my thing is, it's just like, girl, why would you do that? First thing, Tasha, your fat ass disabled mama. So bitch, I'm finna hit your kids, ho. I love my mama just like you love your motherfucking kids, bitch. So I'm finna hit your motherfucking kids, bitch. I'm finna tear your husband up. I'm finna read everything that you know about you, bitch. Cause you could have just did all your commentary and I wouldn't have said nothing. But it was the dragging of Miss Mary. I'm like, girl. Then when even when me and Kaya and everybody that don't like me could say whatever they want to say. But if you go back and you look at how that whole shit happened when me and Kaya split, I was not saying shit first. Kaya was man and dude and and blah blah blah. I wasn't saying nothing. I didn't say nothing until that broad said, your mom in her motherfucking wheelchair and this and the other, and that's when I tore her ass up. That's when I started wailing down on her. Cause I'm like, girl, all that shit you talking, I could listen, I'm a real nigga. That shit don't mean nothing to me. Bitch, my mama don't got nothing to do with this. Nothing.
Okay. Let's talk.
Yes, ma'am.
There is there is this thing happening where we're seeing there is an echo. I think okay, it just stopped. Okay. There's this thing happening where it seems like you are often in conflict with women, which obviously because of because of what's happening, that's gonna put you at odds with a lot of women, right? Even like with the Nene conversation, to say that, to act as if something is wrong with Nene for saying that she didn't want to be with a man that would sleep with trans and not understand that, well, first of all, it's risk mitigation, right?
But I want to ask a question, sister. I want to ask a question. Did I say that Nene was transphobic?
No, I don't think you did.
I didn't.
Did you protect her when the public came for her?
I did.
That's exactly what I was going to ask. This whole conversation, you've been doing that, TS. You set yourself apart from your community, and I really wonder how your community feels about that. This whole entire time, I don't do that. I don't do that. I've never said that. However, and don't do that. Do not cut me off because we were very gracious letting you get it all off your chest. I'm going to be short-winded because Nyla's driving the ship.
Open the door.
I just wanted to say that because I want to point out that I'm hearing and witnessing you set yourself apart from your community every time something said about what you have said or what you have done. You completely separate yourself. I ain't the one doing it, but you never ever, how are you going to lead your community? You're this big advocate for your community, but you ain't responsible for nothing that is being done, nothing that is being said, and I'm gonna turn it back over.
All right, I want to. Who was that I was speaking to?
That was my husband at the top. That is Taz.
Okay,
He went
Taz.
on mute.
So here's what I'm hearing you say in your conversation. I'm hearing you say that I'm responsible for the things that comes out of my community's mouth. Like I'm hearing you say that, and I'm also hearing you say that I separate myself from the community. My community dragged me because if you can go back and look at the Jasmine brand, when they asked me, do I think that Nene was transphobic? And I said, I do not think that Nene was transphobic. I think that Nene thinks like 90% of Black women in America who look at things from the spectrum of black and white. Black and white is you're born male, you're a man, you're born female, you're a woman. And because I am born male, and any male that sleeps with me is looked at an act of homosexuality, that's where it is. But when we're looking at sexual orientation, sexual identity, and attraction, those are different spectrums. So at what point do I become responsible, for the actions of a community, especially when my community was dragging me because I didn't jump on the bandwagon of saying that Nene was transphobic. My community also jumped on me with when I was over there saying about just that only females have periods. So I also got the blunt end of the stick during that whole camaraderie. The only thing that sometimes what you all see, because you operate in the heterosexual community, you don't see what's happening over there to me. You don't see the people knocking and popping on me. So that was the initial response. That was my initial response. Whoever this 5E4 person is, 504. That was my initial response. Because I don't, sitting here in this chair right now, before I go down here and do my job, I did not think that the woman was transphobic. I think that what she was having was a discussion with a person, who was, I wasn't trying to educate her on anything. I just was having a conversation with her from the TS perspective. Now, if she left that with learning anything, that's on her. If she did not, that's still on her. I did what I did. She interviewed me. I talked from the perspective of me. And also, when we were talking about prep, I don't think that prep is specifically targeted for homosexual men. I know that people are outside.
Look, that wasn't me that said that. Because listen, wait a second. Because you said that woman give tranny vibes long before you went and sat down with her.
I did.
So you don't right. So you
Yes.
don't mind.
Yes.
You don't mind placing your life. You don't mind placing your lifestyle onto other women. But then when it came to Shanquella Robinson,
lifestyle, I'm sorry. What's your name?
My name Taz.
Taz. Okay, you're Taz too.
No, that's the only Taz that's been up there.
Yeah, the woman you were talking to was not me. That was Fuzzy.
Okay. So when you say lifestyle would mean like I don't go past row 6 in a car, or I only drive a Benz, or I only drive a BMW.
No, you didn't go past 12th grade as the male you were born. It's a lifestyle that you chose.
I did go past 12th grade, but lifestyle would be like, I only wear this, or I only wear that, or like my clothes are only this or whatever. That's lifestyle. But when we're talking about lives of people who are LGBTQIA, this is real thing. This is real time and real stuff for people. This is how people get up, and this is how they're wired every single day, to get up every single day and live their life. This is not like a lifestyle that you can turn on and turn off. So when we're talking about life, I did say trainee.
You turned it on and off.
No, I don't. No,
when you want to turn it on and off. Yes, you do.
No,
for example,
I have not picked to choose. I have not picked to choose when I can turn it on and off. You are a man. I am a transgender woman. You're a man. No, I'm a man too. No, I'm a male. No, I am male.
You're a woman that wants to be a woman.
No, sweetheart. No, I am a male. You are a man. You and I both are males. I am a transgender woman.
So for example, Remember when Donald Trump made his announcement,
listen,
video saying
Donald Trump could swallow 50 dicks and he can make 150 announcements or whatever. It still ain't changed the price of rice in China. It still ain't did nothing to. It still ain't changed the price of rice in China. It still ain't. It still ain't took away from. It still ain't took away from transgender people and gay people that existed. It still have not removed.
Your sound is going out.
We're still in existence. We're still in existence.
No one wants to remove you from existence. That's not the point. The point is you don't have the labeling and the things you were able to hide behind before. So, for example,
I've never hid behind the label.
Can I finish the sentence, bro?
Can you please stop interrupting?
I ain't cut you off, bro. I'm not gonna cut you off, bro. Like, please don't cut me off.
Well, one, I'm not bro. I'm not bro.
Yes, you is, nigga. Cut it out.
I'm not bro. I'm not bro.
I'm trying to talk to you. I'm trying to have a respectful conversation with you, man.
But if you were having a respectful conversation with me, you would be listening. You're trying to have this.
I've been listening the whole time. I've only been listening. I like to talk now, bro.
And you also asked me a question about the trainee, and you didn't allow me to finish. Given my perspective on it, I said yes, I did.
I haven't finished. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I said yes, I did say trainee because the trainee aesthetic is surgery, boobs, high makeup, all the things that 99% of the trans women out here who are given this aesthetic, and those girls be beat. And anytime you see Nene is beat on every occasion. On every single occasion, she's beat. She's up in her hair. She up under her shoe. She's up under her lash. She's up under her lipstick, honey. The woman is done. So yes, I did say that.
But baby, that's just to not to cut you off, but like that's literally what I grew up with. Like my grandmother, like 7 a.m. She was beat.
Yes,
you understand? That's womanhood.
Yes, ma'am. But your grandmother was a plastic surgery.
Absolutely, but being beat, but her having plastic surgery as a woman, how does that like I don't understand that.
Well, because the plastic surgery aesthetic has came in heavily through the trans girls, because the trans girls have been trying to become, women. So they've been heavy into plastic surgery.
But, I would say that the plastic surgery came heavily in through the white girls. Because we haven't been doing plastic surgery longer than them. And then when women are enhancing what they already have, that's different. You don't think so?
Well, in our community, I think that more so that because the trans have been trying to, and we learned it again, which I can piggyback off that and say, you know what, ma'am, you are in a space of being correct, because we piggyback off of the girls being surgically inclined, like the white girl looking at the white girls being done. Because as a black trans person, we didn't see a lot of the girls being done. We only knew how to put on lipstick and hair like our mama. We only knew how to do that like our mama.
You and your community are not sitting over there in your imagination thinking that black women are going to pay top dollar to say, make me look like a trans. I know I ain't hearing that. I know you know better than that. And even though we may enhance, it has to do with looking more womanly, looking more like how we want to present ourselves. Ain't got nothing to do with looking like a trans.
So
what woman would say, make me look more trans? So I want to look like a trans.
So my question to you is, when you look at black women in a whole that are surgically that have been surgically enhanced, as far as like their nose or their eye features or whatever, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you see them when you see them overly surgically enhanced? Because I can challenge you guys to go look on posts that don't have anything to do with me, and you'll see them in the comment section talking about how much they have surgically enhanced themselves, and it's giving trans.
Well, how many of them do you go out of your way? How many of them do you go out of your way to defend?
How many of them go out of their way to defend me?
Right. So great response. So,
okay.
Wait, no, please don't cut me off. Here's why I'm asking that. Because one of my videos I did about you was specifically in response to how you came out about the Shanquella Robinson murder. What you did was sure you covered the transgender community. Didn't hear was a respect for Black women or the fact that whatever happened to her in that room, it was about those people in that room. You tried to elevate the trans community and make it seem like the trans community is above reproach and could never. That was my issue with that video. It seems you mind taking your community and putting them above the Black community.
Okay. All right. So are you finished with your statement? So I don't seem like I'm cutting you off. Okay. So the initial report that came down, they were trying to say that the woman, the female that did the heinous stuff to Shanquella Robinson was trans. That was the initial reports. They were saying that she was that the female that unalived her, that jumped on her, that attacked her, they were saying that she was trans. They were saying that she was trans. So what I was setting the record straight was this was not a trans woman that did this to her. This was a female, and it was one of her own people that did this to her. So I didn't put that trans people were above reproach. I was just clearing the air because everyone was stating that a man, a trans woman, did this to her.
And so that's actually not true. It was only 3 content creators that were saying that the mainstream story was that it was a young woman and I think 1 or 2 males there. But they certainly didn't present a transgender in the initial mainstream reporting. What you're referring to is the couple people here on YouTube that tried to turn it into a male versus female, a gender war thing. So again, but that was you separating the trans community from the Black community. And again, I don't have a problem with you doing that, but I question it when I come back and see this year say, oh, well, the Black community is the trans community. It's not. You're not our community, your own community.
Well, again, you're taking a spot from a TMZ conversation where I had when I said the Black community is the trans community. When I was saying this from the perspective of when they're attacking the least of us, what do you think they will do to the rest? So and with Black people who try to separate trans people from their own community, I'm Black. I'm dark brown, dark skin, light skin, beige, fluorescent beige. I'm Black. I'm Black whether I'm gay, straight, or whatever. I am Black. I am trans and still Black at the same time. What tends to happen with the heterosexual community is the heterosexual community tends to separate us from our own community. Like we're no longer, when we say that we're trans or we're gay, we are no longer Black. They immediately removed us. And there was a whole woman who made a video stating, oh, well, let them do this for them. And I'm like, well, when did we become, when are we not Black?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I was not aware of your Blackness until Trump got in office and started stroking that pen. Ma'am, you lead with trans this, dick on the bottom, titties on top. That is what you lead with.
Well,
that is all you speak on. That is all you're about. I don't know nothing about your Blackness or no Black allegiance until Trump got into office.
Ma'am, that whole mantra that's going around, that whole mantra that is going around on Beyonce's tour right now was built off of me being Black. The whole mantra that Beyonce used on her album was built off of me being African American. Let's not do
what
that.
Mantra, baby? Because I wasn't singing no mantra last night. I wasn't singing no mantra last night as I was in the executive suite seeing Beyonce.
You said what, honey?
I'm asking, what mantra are you talking about? Because I wasn't singing no mantra while I was in the executive suite last night.
Well, you
watching Beyonce.
Hang on a second, guys. One moment. Tasha K has entered the building.
Oh, I'm not talking to Tasha K. No, I'm not talking to Tasha K now. I'll talk to you, ma'am, but I'm not talking to Tasha K. No.
So we're on this mantra. What mantra are you referring to? I'm sorry.
The mantra that's on Cozy. The mantra that's on Cozy. Dark brown, dark skin, light skin, beige, fluorescent beige. That mantra. That's mine. That's my voice.
That's you. But you think that I'm saying, but you think you're an accurate representation of that on a Beyonce album?
I am.
Especially on the Rainbow.
Okay, so that's why I would say you're delusional. I would have to tell you you're delusional. Nobody's listening to Beyonce thinking of TS Madison. I mean, shout out to
Well, Beyonce's Renaissance was dedicated to the
man.
LGBT community. That's where it would be appropriate. Again, all we know about you is the community.
Nothing to do with being gay. You guys want her
absolutely
to not
does.
exist in this community. You've called her bro 9 times. You guys do not have the
capacity. That is bro. Like, what do you
Wait,
mean?
who is that?
Like, because here's the thing, like, there's no reason to pretend like you decided someday that you didn't want to be a man. I don't believe that you should be able to opt out of your manhood. But since society allows you to do that, cool. But I don't have to go along with it. I respect the fact that you believe you're a woman, but you're not.
But this is hold on, let me do this. But this is the thing. I didn't ask you to accept me being a woman. I didn't ask you to do that. I didn't ask you to accept my existence because we have to coexist on this earth whether we want to or not. You and I could drive past each other anytime or whatever, but I'm black too. Regardless of the fact of whatever my identity is, I'm still black. I'm black as well. Like y'all have removed me. Y'all have
right, and I'm
from my blackness.
So I would be supportive of you. I would be supportive of you if I see you attack women. If I didn't see you go into women's spaces and act tough, like you got it like that, my nigga, you a dude that talk tough, raise your voice. You put hey, soft ass nigga. When you talking to women, you raise your voice. You talk tough. You act like you really got it like that. But when it's the man up here talking like that, hey fam, I don't hear that. I don't hear you talking like that. You ain't no Florida bitch today. You ain't no Florida bitch now. Where that Florida bitch?
She's a Florida bitch. She's a Florida bitch, and we
Well, that bitch ain't talking like it. This shit I heard her say to women, I'm a Florida bitch. I'm this, I'm that. You ain't talking like that.
Nigga, I'm from Memphis. I'm a real ass nigga. My family is a real ass nigga. They don't give a fuck about who got titties and dick at the bottom. A nigga worried about somebody else is a bitch ass nigga. That's what the fuck it is. You worried about her dick, you worried about her titties. You ain't a woman. Get down and worry about why niggas not taking care of their motherfucking family. Get down and worry about stupid ass shit like that. You sound crazy. Have a great night.
Hey, got a whole mustache. Hey, fam, you got a whole mustache. Where's the bass in your voice? There's a standard for manhood.
No bass. That's your motherfucking problem. I'm a real ass nigga. I don't need no bass. I don't need no bass in my voice. You don't scare me. If my voice was different, would that make any difference? Fuck no.
There's a standard for manhood that y'all couldn't reach. I understand. Listen to me. There's a standard for manhood that y'all couldn't reach. There's a standard for manhood.
Worry about broken homes and niggas' families. You worry about what's between this bitch's legs. That's crazy.
So I'm worried about children in schools being
real ass nigga be giving a fuck about somebody else. You a type of nigga that don't want a bitch to say nothing either because you shut that woman up multiple times on, hey, don't interrupt me. You're a soft ass nigga with a YouTube platform.
Okay, so bruh, like that, like you're literally talking to the man that literally defends women like to his detriment. All right. So when we're talking about femicide, when we're talking about domestic violence, when we're talking about violence against women, this is the man that does it. Okay.
That's how
when we're talking about men being held accountable for not providing, this is who does it.
Well, sister, listen, I don't have no pressure with you. I'm leaving this conversation without no pressure with you. If I've ever offended you, ma'am, I apologize to you. If I've ever offended you, if I've ever done anything to offend you personally, I apologize. I don't have no pressure with you. I don't have no pressure with nothing. Now, I'm still a bitch may cross me and they still may get cussed the fuck out. I'm glad that you and I had the opportunity to be grown people. And
let me ask you a question though before you leave though, TS. I want to know how dudes feel feminine with a mustache though. Like, how can you be feminine with a whole mustache?
What? Why you want to
next to you?
Why do you want to?
I mean, I'm asking though, because it's like trying hard to be the woman you'll never be. You run around here with a mustache. You want to try to get crazy on here, bro. Like, at least try to fix yourself up. You can't even fool nobody into thinking you a woman or feminine. But you got a whole mustache.
But he's not a. But he's not a trans.
What is he? Oh, he's just a gay dude. He's just a gay dude.
He's gay.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. So y'all weirdos are in the way of the black community's progress, right? Y'all teaching this shit to kids, and that's the issue I take with y'all. I think you are in the way in terms of growth and progress. You got boys and girls that believe they can change their genders because they watching people like y'all. You got this high AIDS rate that's being passed through the Black community because of people like him. If you're not addressing those and the issues that you bring,
but we do address it. We do address the issues in our community when it comes down to, we know men run rampant in the streets. We know men run crazy out in the street, not just with other men or they run rampant with everybody. And so this is why PrEP and all the things to have preventative methods to prevent these things from happening in our community. Like black women make up 13% of the community, and they are 50% now higher in the AIDS and HIV diagnoses now.
Which is which is why someone like Nene would say that she would not want to be involved with a man that would be on the DL or that would sleep with trans, because that increases your rates. Like it's coming from that community. So that's why women are saying that. And Tasha K said, this is her comment. She said, "Why is this man calling for a woman then doesn't want to address me to my face?"
I didn't call for her. I didn't.
So it was the mention of and I have the video of the threat too when you did threaten Tasha.
Okay. Let me see it.
Okay, hold on. Let me put it into the stream.
You see, sister, I like you because you got. At first, I was hot with you, but I like you because you came and you said, "Let's have a conversation," and here we go.
Here we go. All right, here we go. Here go the
Oh, that wasn't that one, babe. That's the bathroom. That's the girl in the bathroom.
This wasn't the one. Okay, my bad. I thought this was the one.
No,
that's the girl she threatened.
But no, I remember because when I went on Storm, when I did that.
Wait, because we hadn't talked about that. She did threaten to fight women in the bathroom, right?
I said if somebody put their hands on me.
Yeah, but you said if you're a man in a bathroom stall of a woman, you threaten to fight women.
I said if anybody puts their hands on me, I ain't fight nobody that don't put their hands on me.
You're a man in a woman's bathroom, though. Why would?
I didn't. If nobody don't put their hands on me, listen. I know you're getting a kick out of calling me a man. All stuff. I know you're getting a great kick out of that. I maneuver through this world perfectly fine. I want you to understand this. I do perfectly fine.
I'm not doubting that you do, bro. They made the rules.
I maneuver through this place perfectly fine.
Yes. They've made it so you can. They've made it so you can. Back when I was growing up, niggas would beat your ass and there would have been no protection.
I'm from the hood.
Now there's protection.
Wasn't nobody beating my ass in the hood back then. Wasn't nobody beating me in the hood.
Why do you need the government's protection? Why do you need the government's protection? You wake up one day and
we don't have it. And wasn't no niggas beating me in the hood, baby, growing up. None.
No niggas beating me in the hood. It's hard to believe that.
Well, I'd like
I say,
whether you believe it or not, no niggas will put me in the hood.
You go in women's spaces and play tough.
Listen,
I've watched you.
I was going in women's spaces back back in the day. I was going to women's spaces because women and I at that time, before I was fully transitioning, were my friends. But we were good Judies. But it's when I crossed over and started having hair and lipstick. Feminine energy always is going to battle with other feminine energy all the time. And when I was,
what about the masculine energy, though, fam?
Well, the masculine energy was giving me the dick.
The masculine energy when you're dealing with these women. You deal with women with masculine energy.
The masculine energy was giving me the peen. They were giving me the dick. That's what was going on. We were fucking.
I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about your energy in terms of threatening women.
Well, I told anybody if they put their motherfucking hands on me, they'll get walked.
TS, I thought your initial story was that you were a prostitute and you were being beaten by men And that's how you originally came to YouTube. It's YouTube that saved you because you ain't got to be on the stroll no more.
No, YouTube didn't save me. YouTube didn't save me. The path that the Lord put me on saved me. My personality saved
Okay.
me.
Okay. Okay.
Wait, so
Okay.
Yeah.
you was
Say
on the
that.
scroll
Praise
getting
him, girl.
wait,
Hallelujah.
Praise him. Hallelujah.
true?
Hallelujah.
Wait, is that true though? You were on the
That's,
stroll and dealing with people?
yes, I did. I did work the streets.
So
Yes.
men was
Yeah.
beating
And
your
weren't
ass?
men beating your ass?
No, men were not
And
beating
I
my
don't
ass
mean
on the
that
street.
disrespectfully, but I
Well,
recall
no,
that being
no,
a
no
part of
men
your
weren't beating my.
story. And
No,
now
no
you're
men
saying
weren't
something
beating my
completely
ass on the
different.
street. What was going on the streets was I was being paid by men. Yes, I have had. Yes, any prostitute, whether they're male or female or trans, have had situations with a client. Of course, yes. But I walk those streets, honey. I pay my bills. Yes,
Yeah, okay. I recall correctly. That's part of your story.
it's a
So,
part of. It's a piece of it. Since we're recalling, it's a piece of my story that will also be made into a biopic.
yeah, do your thing, girl.
Oh,
But
I'm always
my
gonna do
my
that,
thing is
sister.
like, I mean, you're puffing your chest with Taz,
Sister,
a man, about how all they were doing for you is giving you D. They was also giving you them hands.
and
So
they were also receiving them. They were receiving them too. Listen, ma'am, anytime that you're a prostitute, whether you're male or female, you're going to have a situation with niggas, especially if you're tricking with them.
That's crazy.
okay, I
So
don't know nothing
I
about
have a
tricking.
question. I want to know and completely understand, because there is one thing that does confuse me. When
Yes,
you
ma'am.
guys say that transphobia affects biological women too,
Yes,
can you
ma'am.
break that down for me?
When I say transphobia affects all women, I say it from the place uh, uh, of women being called men, women who are natural born women being called men, women who are natural born women who have been attacked because somebody thought that they were trans, men who are natural born, women who are natural born women who have been just harassed because they thought that they were men, which is
Okay,
which is a part of transphobia.
so I think that if that is existing, which it is, right? But that even
Yes, ma'am.
existed before we understood what trans was. People masculinizing black women. I think you said something about if you're heavy or if you're dark skinned, people do that. We know that the colorism and all that kind of stuff existed because
Yes, they run
masculinity is sometimes
intersectionally.
it's kind of,
Yes.
but here's the thing, nobody would tell a woman that she looked like a man or that she was a man, or would question if she was a man, if it was not for trans women um basically presenting like women.
So
So if
so
because if men presented like men and women present like women, or what you would say is females presented as females and men presented as males or whatever, nobody would would say to a woman who has on makeup, lashes, and a wig that you trying to look like a trans, if the trans were not doing that, trying to look like women.
Well, there are women who have very hard features because for some reason they don't like to associate softness with trans women, but there are trans women that are very soft. There are women who have hard features and who are big. This is why I was talking about bigger women, like bigger hands, bigger feet, bigger backs, bigger arm, bigger shoulders, women who are over a certain height. I'm like, girl, you're susceptible to receiving transphobia. And because there are lots of women who look like their dads.
Well,
There
see,
are
I
women
would
who
say I'm a woman that looks like her dad,
no, but
right? So
when I look at you and I see I see from your avatar, I see you're a light skinned woman, you're a pretty woman. And I wouldn't say not to say that because you're light skinned and you're pretty that you would not experience transphobia, but I don't see any features like there was a woman yesterday. Well, there was a woman day before yesterday. She came out of there. She came out inbox. She told me, "Eat my pussy, you nigga." Um. So what was funny about her telling me to eat her pussy was she came in the inbox. What was funny about it was she was very masked.
She was very masculine. And all of us that were reading her, we thought that she was one of the girls. So I was reading her back so hard because I thought that she was one of the girls. And I said, ooh, let me take this down. And I took it down because she was getting so much transphobia from it as a biological woman. But we all thought that she was I told that whole nigga, tuck your dick, nigga. Put your dick. I mean, I did the same shit that be done to me. So I was like,
I would say that that's actually biofemphobia. So biological women are under attack from the trans community, from men who want to use trans women as a weapon against biological women. So when we hear this stuff of whenever there's a situation where a biological woman is being masculinized, where a biological woman is being diminished or usurped, or being told that she has to have a certain pronoun or something like that, because of the trans community or because of, other people identifying as a woman, that is biofemphobia. That's not transfemphobia. That is against a biological woman. So there is a space that biological women fight for. There is agency that biological women own and fight for, as there are a space where, T women and T men would fight for, right? You guys have your own spaces, your own things. We cannot be suffering from transphobia as biological women. That is biofemphobia.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I think that all of it intersects the way it's interwoven into the situation, because, a black woman was just murdered maybe a year ago, if it's been a year, and the guy that killed her because he thought that she was a man. He thought that he said he thought she was a damn granny, and so he killed her. And every time I bring up that subject, I bring it up because I'm like, she had all these, she didn't fit the Eurocentric norms of what's what's a woman should look like. It was she was very masculinized, which hence he called her a trans, so she suffered from transphobia.
But okay, so because biological women came before trans, right?
That is correct.
There would be no phobia against that biological woman if it was not for trans.
But trans people,
that is not the same. That is not the same thing.
But sister, trans people exist though. We exist.
Indeed.
So we're here now. We're existing. And so, in our existence, this stuff is what's happening. It's what's going on. And my thing is, like, there are a lot of people that have a lot of vitriol or communicate with me with a lot of vitriol or have wind in their chest.
TS, why are you doing that shoe like that?
Ma'am, there are a lot of people that communicate with me with a lot of like vitriol and stuff like that, which I don't.
TS Madison, why are you doing that shoe like that?
Ma'am,
somebody help that shoe. How much you pay for that shoe?
Ma'am, I'm gonna leave because I only came here to really chop it up with you.
Well, you shouldn't have brought my name up.
When you drop the trash, you and I'll talk.
When you leave my shoes alone, then we can talk too. Somebody save that fucking shoe.
Tasha K. You go to the wall. You go, Tasha. I never thought I would put you on the wall.
Listen, no, save that shoe. Women that big in our community wear flats, okay? We wear kid heels. Come on now. Somebody save that goddamn shoe. It's gonna die tonight. I'm out, Darla. I love you. Have your business.
I can't. Not a save the shoe campaign. Save that shoe. I can't. All right. So
I got a question. Is TS up here?
TS is gone.
Okay. But I had a question. I want to know, like, does you think that African features on a woman is masculine? Because very much that's what it was giving. You know, like we got to have surgery to be presented as feminine. We got to be a certain size and weight. It's very much given a colonized mind. As I'm sitting there watching a big back put on some shoes, that was quite interesting to me. Like, if he is
Uh-oh, did I go out?
no, it was me. It was
Okay, you went out for a second.
yeah, I went out for a second because anyways, but if he's the definition of feminine or feminine presenting, um then what does he think about female features, black female features? Because it was very
Yeah.
much given.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to talk about that, but that is something that
Yeah.
came from that. That is something straight from what people would call a colonizer's. And I don't like using the colonizer because I don't believe in colonization in 2025. But that's a very what people would say European or white supremacist thought process to masculinize dark skin, wide noses. And not Shaka the guy said
Black women.
shoe phobia. Yeah.
Yeah. All of it comes from us. Like, so yeah, I really wanted to ask that question, but it's all good. Tasha done came and ran them off. But
Tasha said the shoe. I can't. I can't.
yeah,
So Van is under here. I didn't mean. What'd you say, honey? You broke up a little bit.
No, I was saying I would have liked to have more of a conversation though about it, because I say what dude, I guess the dude that wasn't trans, what he came in and tried to do was create that narrative of straight men shouldn't care about these trans people and all these rainbow people and whatnot. And what they try to do is kind of shame men out of the conversation with what kind of man cares about it, and what kind of man is worried about what's between your legs and all this. Like, I mean, there's a bigger topic at play though when we start talking about this being in schools, when we start talking about the fact that we do have to live around you. You know what I'm saying? And so I think those tactics right there imply that there isn't a real ability to have the in-depth part of the conversation that does that bothers that part of the community that's not really about, I don't want you to lose your life or any of that, but like, I feel like your existence is a detriment to the children. And I can argue that without it being negative, but once dudes start talking crazy, like, bro, stop it. Like, but you ain't got no bass in your voice. Like, what are you doing?
So Madison said that she's okay with the conversation. Like, I guess set it up or something like that. I think that it definitely the conversation does need to be had from all vantage points. It's because it's like you said, nobody is against or wants something bad to happen. And I did say that nobody thinks that a person, because of their orientation or their identity, that they should be denied their humanity. Nobody's saying any of that, but they're like, we do need to come to some place so that everybody understands each side. She says we can do a full panel. That'll be good. I think we should. What you think, babe?
Yeah, I'm saying set that up, babe, with because like I say, for me, it's more of having the conversation. I say it's not like I am black first, but I'm also saying y'all are a detriment to that black. And I'm willing to have that as a respectful conversation. But once you start doing and you a man, and why you worried about it? Like, yeah, it's gonna get negative, because I'm just as negative, fam. I'm saying you ain't gonna back me off of my points with that shit. That ain't gonna bother me, none.
Right. I'm sorry for how it started too, T. I was look, you understand the reading game. You understand, okay? So I apologize as well. It's cool, no harm. We'll set it up so that the conversation could be had in a way that everybody can get their point off, and maybe we could. The community needs this. The community needs that conversation.
I'm tired of talking past them. That's one of the reasons why I hit the link, because I talk past them. I'm not talking to them. I'm talking to people who are not them. And like I said, it would be better just talking to one of them about their community, and it would be better if it's one of their major voices, because I don't get some of this and how you interchange and go back and forth. And like I said, I do think that there's a necessary discussion there. And can't have it. Ban is incapable.
Oh yeah. So okay. So Bae, did you know that Van went on Kendra G's show?
No.
And let me look up. I'll tell you about that in a second. Princella's bald edges. If you don't get to the wall and off my chat room with your bullshit, talking about I'm in the community, baby, you definitely are. Nobody's gonna deny that. Okay, we're not gonna deny that. So listen, Van is a biological male who is transitioning to be a trans woman, but he is 100% heterosexual. Van is confusing to me. Van, explain your foolishness one more time. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say foolishness. That's your. Hey. I don't want to disrespect you because you don't disrespect nobody.
Hey, Nyla,
you're confusing. Hello, Van. How are you?
Hi, Nyla. Hey, what's up, Chad? Yeah, I know. I've been on your platforms a couple times at least before, and I think my last online presence was Kendra G a year ago during Pride Month. Yeah, the one you're speaking of. Basically, I was seeing Maddie was on. I came in probably late on your show, but I seen Maddie was on, and I tried to jump on. I wanted to talk to Maddie, but I guess Maddie got ran off. But hey,
Maddie was not interested. Maddie and Tasha together, I guess, is like oil and water.
Oh, okay.
But it looked like Maddie has somewhere to go.
Right, anyway. Maddie. I really would like to have talked to her, but I guess I'll go on her platform for that. But well, I guess for those that don't know. For those that don't know, I guess. By the way, my baby sister looked just like you, Nyla.
Really?
Yeah,
she's so pretty. She is so pretty. Now let me
stop. Yeah. I would tell her in a decade. I said, look at this channel to see how you're gonna look in 10 or 15 years. She's your twin for real, my baby sister. And she looks like our dad. She looks like our father too. So
yeah, I look like my dad.
Yeah, but basically, like you said, you pretty much summed it up. Is that Priscilla, the Queen Maker? Okay, yeah, I seen that channel.
No, that's some troll account. So listen, bro.
Oh, okay,
so it's been a while, but like you playing around and laughing and shit. Let's get to it. So how your kids? Because you know what I'm saying. I know. Again, when we talked last time, I was mad for real because you have children. You're an adult. You raised your children. You did everything you were supposed to do as a father, and then woke up one day and said, "I want to be a woman." So how's everything going?
Well, I mean, my kids is my kids. My baby is on the way to Auburn University. My youngest, so she's on the way to Auburn University. She graduated high school a year early, so that's my youngest. She'll be 18 in the fall, in a few months. Well, as far as how they feel, like I said, I think when I interviewed with you all before, they had been getting teased about, me going online and, some other stuff before I went online. As I might explain, either your channel or either Kendra G, I worked for the federal government once, and then somebody took like some pictures of me and like circulated it, and they ended up getting to get some high school and some kids getting in, and my son had some problems with that, where some people were teasing him. My daughter at the time, she was in elementary school, so they really, she was kind of sheltered from that. But now that she's getting ready to enter the college arena, I do have concerns on how that may affect her, if anybody, because the internet, we might as well call it the forever net, because once something's on the internet, it's on there forever. So it should be called the forever net. So I believe that I hope it don't affect her in the college setting. My youngest, my baby, you know, um, that's all I got to answer your question. The effects that it had back then was a little teasing, but now, the effects is unforeseen, if you will. Um, you know, mm.
No, I don't
Right.
know.
And in my situation, well, as far as unforeseen, I don't know what kind of effects it will have on my daughter because she was sheltered from that because she was at elementary school age at the time when I came out and, came out. So she was sheltered from that, just, you know, absorbed in, kids' things, children's things. But now, that she's getting ready to enter the college arena, I hope and pray that, she don't get any kind of teasing or ridicule or anything like that. Because with college is different because that's more of a broader spectrum of students and
Wouldn't
from all over.
see this? Sam, wouldn't you say you have control over that? Like, you come online, you present yourself to people, you're living this lifestyle. You putting your kids in that position, bro. That's you.
Well, okay. Well, Taz, this is what I'm saying. So I'm supposed to be miserable all my life.
See, there we go, bro. So
I
your
mean, I'm supposed
happiness
to be.
is
Oh yeah, I know you said
your
that last time. What more
happiness is
happiness is?
to be a woman. That's where your happiness is.
Well, if you understood, I can't get people to understand gender dysphoria. You got to be actually trans to understand what gender dysphoria is. You're not happy in the person you were born with. I'm not talking about not happy with your life as far as, mistakes or accomplishments in life. Not that kind of not happy. I mean, it's basically no matter what you do, you just never feel like you're happy. And deep down inside, you have an epiphany. I had an epiphany, a eureka moment, if you will, where I said, that's it. I always wonder why I never could be fully happy or committed to anything. As far
But
as
Vance, what happens if you like cut your man's off and then you still not happy? What happens
Yeah,
then?
yeah, because if you're going to be a woman, you're going into the paradigm of unhappiness. Women are never satisfied. They're never happy. I mean, let's be real.
Shut up.
Even saying about that, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm just like my mother. She's never satisfied. So I'm saying you
well,
go to what you might as well just stay where you at, bruh. As a man, you can find some happiness and satisfaction. Women are
well,
never happy and satisfied.
I disagree. And Taz, you know what?
Your ass up.
A most recent epiphany. I realized that my military experience. You know, I had a trauma response to masculinity during my military experience, especially when I went to Iraq, and that kind of further pushed or ushered me into wanting to change genders. You know what I'm saying? Because of a trauma response, military from the military, and toxic masculinity that I experienced in leadership in the military and interacting with men. That was what pushed me over the edge. To be perfectly honest, like I'm so done with manhood. It's
Man, that's crazy, bro. What do you mean? See, you ain't say that last time. See, we finna go down a rabbit hole, bro. Are you telling me that your military experience pushed you over the edge?
right. That's what like the saying goes, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Dealing with toxic masculine. I'm not saying I didn't have good leadership, but it was to the point where the negative part of male leadership in the military is what pushed me over the edge and made me say, everything good, but I'll be all right. I'm going to the woman side. I'll be the man thing. I'm cool with that.
And so you started the process in the military?
No, 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 no. I mean, that was the thing. My experience, my last major experience with being around a lot of men and being in a toxic masculine environment. And I'm not knocking those men. Hey, men gonna be men, just like women gonna be women. So, but for me personally, it was something that it was my pushed me over the edge as far as wanting to change genders.
Yeah, I don't understand that because like men encounter obstacles all the time in terms of like toxic men, men getting on stupid shit, men appearing to be something that might be some shit you don't want to be around. Like, you know what I'm saying? We pulled up to the store the other day, like 15 young niggas at the store, right there under the goddamn thing. You know what I'm saying? Like look like they passing shit back and forth. Niggas looking suspect, look like a whole crime about to happen, right?
Right.
So are you telling me though that the proper response to that is to become a woman?
No, not necessarily. I mean, unless you
But because
suffer, I mean, if
I'm
you
saying
don't suffer, yeah.
that element of toxic masculinity exists everywhere.
Right,
You're
and
never going to get
I'm right, exactly. So I mean, you can't. I mean, the world is a man's world. I mean, so I mean, if manhood alone is the problem, then I know a person. I said that was one of the major factors that made me really be decisive in my decision of wanting to cross over. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying like, I mean, men are going to be men, just like women are going to be women. And masculinity and femininity is a beautiful thing. But I feel that I should be on the feminine side. You know what I'm saying?
that is insane because like it sounds like you let some men in the military break you. You know what I'm saying? Which is what you're trained to do, I guess. But like, you're not supposed to actually be broken. Like, I do get when you say toxic masculinity and whatnot. There are toxic elements in society. I agree. But how are you seeking refuge in a community of women? Is my question.
Well, as they say, well,
Your mic going out.
yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I accidentally hit a wrong button. Can you hear me now?
I hear you. I don't know.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
I hear you now.
Yeah, sorry about that. But like I said, that was like they say, the soft life. I want those. I know they mean something else by that, as far as like, I guess materialism or whatever, or but finances. But I want the soft life as far as a life experience and gender roles. So I'm looking for the soft life. Because I done 40 years of the man thing, and now for the last decade or so, I've been
Bruh,
I've, I've been I've been I've been I've been
man,
pursuing the soft life.
you can't create yourself a soft life as a man. You got to be a woman to have a soft life.
For me personally, because I suffer from gender dysphoria, meaning that no matter
Man,
what I do, no
come
matter
on.
what I do no matter what I do as a man,
Have you known that
you know,
term? How long have you a grown ass, old ass man, bruh? How long have you been saying gender dysphoria?
I mean, since I learned what it was that I suffered from. Well, I wouldn't
Like,
say
how
suffer,
long?
but
What, about a decade, man?
I'm sorry,
We talking about maybe a decade of you using that term?
probably so, or a little more longer, I guess. Yeah.
Come on, bro. That's what I'm saying. You ain't you 50?
Aren't I what?
Like 50 years old. Ain't you my age? Ain't you like up in your damn near 50 or 50?
Yeah. Yeah, I am 50. Exactly. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, man. How are you use modern terminology to explain yourself? You've lived a whole life, went to the military. Like I said, you did right by your children, but now you looking for a soft life as a woman. I don't understand it, bro. Like that shit is hella confusing. Like you can create yourself a soft life and don't have to change your gender to do that. Like what I just don't I guess I don't get what it is that you're saying is making you not want to be a man anymore. Another man's action shouldn't mean I don't want to be a man no more. That's weird, bro.
Well, it's not only that. That was just kind of like a major life experience. That was kind of like a tipping point. Kind of like the cover, like the title of that was it Time magazine when Laverne Cox went on in years back, the transgender tipping point. That was my tipping point where I felt that, hey, I think I'm done with this man thing, and I need to you know explore the woman thing. You know what I'm saying? So
Nah, bro, you're confusing, bro.
well,
I ain't
and
fucking with you.
here's the thing too about orientation and identity. I know Nyla said, "Well, that really confused." Here's the thing. I mean, I can't get with a man. I'm not attracted to a man. I don't want a man. That's why I was trying to tell Kendra G. She said I'm totally confused. I said it's not. It's simple for me. I'm not a gay man. A gender identity. Okay, this is the way I explain to people. Okay, if people, I know whether people agree with whether you can transition or not. If natural born men and women have different orientations. Transgender people can have different orientation. A transgender person can be attracted to other transgenders, like somebody was saying earlier when TS Madison was on. I know trans women that date trans women, men and women that date each other. As you know, a trans man is a woman that transitioned to a trans man, and a trans woman is a man or male or whatever that transitioned into a trans woman. So they date each other. I've seen two trans men, stories of two trans men that date each other, stories where two trans women date each other, stories that trans women date biological women, which is what I want to do. Or straight women, not lesbians. So I know that's enough of that. That confused people too. Say, well, how would you want when you want to be with a okay, as a straight man, I wouldn't date a lesbian. So even though I'm transitioning, I wouldn't date a lesbian. I would want a straight woman still. I know that pretty much makes my dating life non-existent. As a straight woman, want a man, and as I always say, a lesbian would want a most likely a biological woman, a natural born woman, because why go to the store and get a store brand and you can get the Pepsi instead of a Sam's Choice or something, the kind of store brand. That's the way I look at dating as far as lesbians and all that. Now, I don't know nothing about no gay male and what he would date because I never identified. I got plenty of gay friends, got gay men in my family, gay men and women, but I know nothing about a same gender being attracted to another gender. Now that I'm transitioning, that's a different dynamic because I feel that my orientation is the same. It's just my identity is changing. So that's why it's so simple to me. That's the way I explain to people. Even when I came out, people were like, "Oh, you're coming out as gay." I said, "No, I'm not gay. I'm not a." So that kind of confused them for a minute, but then I'm like, "Okay, I get it." But Maddie, I'm glad y'all had Maddie on, even though I came on late. I wanted to get on there and talk to her for a minute or whatever. If y'all, if it would have been authorized or what have you. But yeah. So
Yeah, I'm. You know what? What's crazy is that the way that the StreamYard had you positioned, I couldn't even see because of how small I had my window on my computer. I didn't even really see you until after I pushed the thing over. I thought that you were a share screen. But
okay. All right, that's fine.
Maddie said that we're gonna have is open to having a full panel. I think that because you definitely present a unique circumstance, for lack of better words. Something that most of us are confused about. So I guess everybody needs their what you think everybody needs their representation, right? I don't know.
Right. Well, here's the thing. I mean, even when I was on Facebook some years back, and before I transitioned, I knew there was a few trans women in my network that had girlfriends that they were dating before they transitioned. Some people would look like women would say, "Oh, very handsome man, muscles and everything," and then they transitioned and they became cute women, trans women. So I knew people. Some people may be surprised by that, but I had trans women in my network that were still dating the same girlfriends they were dating before they transitioned. So
So I'll say this though, like when I've seen TS Madison in these other situations, I feel like he leads in a way that's more masculine than feminine while operating in the feminine paradigm. That's the issue I've always had with him and how I view him. I view him as a dude that goes into women's spaces and try to dominate women's space. And so that's why, like I said, if anything, it's better to have that as a conversation. Now, I feel like you would be the opposite of that because you seem like you just want to go sit around the women and you would just be happy being there. Whereas T.S. Madison needs a megaphone and wants to preach to the women in the room.
okay. Here's my thing too about that. I'm not saying this is Maddie, the case with Maddie, but I noticed that a lot of trans women that are attracted to men, they seem to be more like have the more cattiness with women, biological women, or the more you know kind of vitriol toward biological women, or like a competition. To me, that's not an issue because I mean, biological women they can have all the men because I don't want no man. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see the cattiness with that. And the same thing with gay men. You know, I don't really get the dynamic that gay men and women have with the bestie BFF thing. You know, a lot of women have these 100 million gay male friends. And I've even heard women say, oh, they can be better friends than women. And I don't get that. How could a, I know all women don't get along just because they're both biological women, but I don't get how a gay man can be a better friend than a biological woman that's your friend too. That's what I don't get. And I've heard women say that. You know, and that's weird to me. So, you know, it's like, they treat some of these gay men like they got a uterus themselves, but they look at a man transitioning as strange, but especially if he's, it's, you don't like men. It's like, but a gay man, they get treated like they go through a monthly and have a uterus and all that too, like call them girl and all that. And to me, that's super weird. Not super weird, I would say, but it's like, some society made that normal. Treat feminine acting men that's gay, they can get called girl and like they got a uterus and be a BFF to a woman, but a transgender person is like the claws come out. Like it's like, what's the problem? Like, but a biological man that act feminine, that like men, just because he share the same sexual orientation as a straight woman, he get treated like one of the girls. But a trans woman is like, oh, we don't want y'all in the club, but the gay man,
I
oh well,
think
girl, you want.
there's more to it than that though. Because again, those transgender men trying to infringe upon what women are. I don't think that applies to a gay man. A transgender man is literally trying to take women's rights and make them about himself. Whereas the gay man doesn't necessarily do that. He just operates through more of a feminine paradigm. But transgender men want to be seen as women, and they're not.
You mean trans women want to be seen as women? Okay. Trans
Yeah, I
men
mean,
want to be seen as trans men want to be
yeah,
seen as men.
I don't think it changes. So yeah, I mean, you can be as politically correct as you need to be to understand, but I'm saying it that way for a reason. You still a
Right, I
man.
understand.
You can't
Right, I understand
transition into.
that. Okay, well, I got another quick
Yeah, I don't.
question, Ted. Ted, can I ask this
Go ahead.
question? I mean, anybody can feel free to answer this. Why all the smoke for trans women? I know you call them trans men still, but why all the smoke for trans men that want to transition, regardless of what your orientation is? But trans men get all kind of, oh, well, see, they're less problematic than trans women, and they're not trying to invade men's spaces, and they're cool. And even as far as aesthetics, I've seen trans men go on shows, and even the women like, oh, they're so handsome, and oh, I can't believe they look so handsome. And not saying they attracted to that, but it's like trans women. It's like, oh, you still look like a man, or you'll never be a woman. But they're not saying that to women that transition to men. Why is that though? They get more support and love and nice words, and trans women get all the vitriol. Why is that? And anybody can feel free to jump on it and answer that, not just the host. I find that kind of
Uh,
weird. Trans men get all the love, but trans women get all the
because
hate, pretty much.
they don't threaten our space. Like a woman trying to become a man is a joke. We'll laugh at her, right? You know what I'm saying? She'll never be one of the guys, no matter how much she tries. But there's an accepted practice of men trying to be women, and then there's not that same element of protection for women. Women can't protect themselves from men entering their environment. And I think that's part of what people argue is patriarchy. The fact that man can go into a woman's space, be dominant there, but a woman can never go into a male space and be dominant.
Right, and I've heard that explanation before about, oh well, they can take over men's spaces if they try. The women that transit men, so they stay in their lane and they're not overbearing and they don't try to force themselves. And I get that, I guess. But my thing is this: at first I felt that, hey, well, I'm trying to be a woman, so can I be in it? Welcome? Can I? Y'all should like roll out the red carpet and welcome me to the club. I'm saying as far as society, but then I quickly realized, hey, people don't really like trans women like that for real. So I'm gonna just stay in my lane and play my part and do what I make it do what it do, as the saying goes. But still, it's like trans women that just try to stay in their lane. People still come for them. Just like what's the trans woman that did the Budweiser commercial, Bud Light commercial, the white trans woman. Uh, it's like she did a freaking Bud Light commercial, and you got people like Kid Rock lining up Bud Light cans, shooting them, and talking about he'll never buy Bud Light again because they use a tranny. And I'm like, what's the problem with this trans woman? And Bud Light fired the person that idea who it was to use uh, the trans woman for the Bud Light ad, and they
So
fired
some
that
might argue that that's protection of women. That
Dylan,
that was
right?
that was
Not
yeah,
Dylan
Dylan.
Mulroney. Yeah,
Dylan,
everybody. I'm like,
the
and that's
one
it.
that was playing with sanitary napkins just because, like, oh, I've always wanted to use one of these and playing with them and stuff like that. Yeah, it was a mockery
Well, it's
because
not a mockery
Dylan,
because trans women do bleed. They will
okay,
bleed during their
has
surgeries, during their surgeries and
right,
stuff.
they bleed because they cut their dicks off, right? So, but the problem is this: when you say that you want a representation of womanhood and you get Dylan instead of an actual woman, you don't see that as, like, how would you feel if they needed black male representation and they go get Sean King? And we know that both his parents are white, even though he's lied. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That sits okay with you?
Oh, is that
That
what the
someone
issue was?
that
They
is
said
not,
okay. Okay, so
you see what I'm
basically
saying?
they wanted a woman to represent Bud Light, and then when
Well,
Dylan
was
showed
it,
up,
I believe it was it, and it was not Sephora. What's the other one, y'all? Because we stopped going there. Not Sephora,
Matt.
Ulta. Ulta.
Oh, okay.
Ulta wanted to use Dylan also as, like, for like Women's History Month to represent womanhood. And so how do you get someone that has not been through girlhood, that is not an actual woman, who just decided that they were a woman in the last year, to represent womanhood? That's disrespect.
I mean, do you
Dylan
really,
should be
Nyla? I respectfully just okay. I'm not sure the intent of Bud Light and Ulta in putting Dylan in the spot, but I mean, why can't if trans women are transitioning?
trans women are we are perfectly fine with them representing trans.
But this is a international brands that wanted to
Right.
include
And
trans
they're
women
talking
as a
and
as womanhood, and that's what I
right.
found weird.
And
People
they're
found it was so much vitriol about Dylan.
no,
Oh,
that was a problem. Okay, so that community is like less than 2 or 3% of the human population,
so they shouldn't be
right?
seen. They shouldn't be seen.
No, they should it is fine. It's the whole fighting for the T versus the W. They should literally be fighting for their agency. So no one would have blinked of eye if Dylan would have been representing what the trans experience is,
Well,
what the trans
that's
situation
what she was doing,
is.
right? She wasn't saying I'm a woman. She
No.
was saying I'm a trans
It
woman,
was
right?
for Women's History Month, and it was to represent. Literally gave Dylan space to talk about girlhood and womanhood.
From a trans experience, of course, right?
No, from a woman,
Well,
from a woman's
she still is
experience.
a trans woman. She wasn't saying I was born a woman. She was. Everybody knows she's a trans woman. Everybody knows
So,
Laverne Cox is a trans.
so
Everybody
some
knows
people,
TS
some
Madison is
people
a
don't
trans woman.
know. Yeah, some people don't know, because even in the comment section on Angie Stanton's page,
Right.
there are people that don't know.
Okay,
Some
if
people
they
don't
didn't,
know.
well, if they didn't know and assumed Dylan was a biological, natural born woman, then there was no issue at all until they found out. Oh, that's a
That's
trans.
deceit, right? Yeah, that's deceit.
Right,
That's
but I
that.
mean, well, like they say, what you don't know won't hurt you. So they didn't get
Well, no,
upset.
what you don't know will always hurt you.
Well, if they didn't get upset until they found out Dylan was trans, then was it the real issue? Then somebody making her being trans an issue?
The real issue is that women have had to fight for agency and for space and to be seen, right? We have had some gains throughout the years, and women still have not gotten on level playing hood economically and as far as holding spaces in different professions and stuff like that, right? So now
Right.
it's why, because we compete with men. So now just because you remove your dick and you come into the space that was designated for us, no different than the trans people that are competing in sports. So now women are being further marginalized. That's biofemphobia.
Well,
Further
actually,
marginalized.
right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Women are being further marginalized and taking a back seat again for the advancement of another group, for the advancement of a man. That's what that is.
Okay.
Like
if trans is only 3% of the population.
We had to have laws passed so that we are treated fairly, so that they could even the playing field between women and men. And now, if a man can't beat men in sports, I'll just go beat the women.
Personally, I think that's an insult to women to say just because 1% of less than 1%, 0.00 something of 1% trans women participate in women's sports, that they're gonna totally eliminate all women competition. Personally,
but look what happens. How they outperform women because they are biologically male.
Okay, now I do kind of agree with that because biological male lungs are larger. No matter how much estrogen you take, your bones they're gonna get thinner, and you go through osteoporosis and all that like women when they go through menopause, but they're still gonna be thicker, their bone structure, and their lungs are naturally bigger because they were born, males. So I'm not a doctor though, so I don't know, but I guess.
Do you know that there are women with hormonal imbalances that were not allowed to compete in certain sports for the Olympics because these biological women had hormonal disorders that gave them the hormones of men?
Right. Yeah, I've heard of a few.
Right.
I've seen stories where even natural born women had hormonal imbalances
Right.
that disqualified them.
So why should a man who simply takes hormones or a trans person that is transitioned who's taking hormones be given the place that a biological woman can't occupy because of her natural hormones?
He said, why should they be given, if natural born women with a hormonal imbalance is disqualified, why should a man transition and be allowed to participate? Basically, is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good question. And as much as of course, I'll be all for trans rights. But like we talked that time I came on Taz's show, and I was on there for like 2 hours and something. And like we talked about, the competition pool would be very small if trans people only competed against other trans. That wouldn't be much of a league. Some people say, well, why don't you just participate in their own venues against each other? Well, how big is that league gonna be? If that's a very small community, like you said, less than 3%, and even smaller than that for those that's on a level of competitive sports, like the Olympics or, nationals or what have you. So it'll be, a very, very small playing league if it's just trans competing against other trans. But I do get your point. And I do agree. You make a good argument. If biological women who have hormonal imbalances, they give them bigger muscles and all that, is disqualified. Why are trans allowed? That seemed like if that was the case, the women should have been allowed too, that had the hormonal imbalances. At least they were natural born women. And I don't know if that would have, they probably would have been complaining on them too, even though they were natural born women. And so they would have said, why even compete if, you're letting people in that's born men and transitioning, or people that got an advantage because they got extra testosterone, even though they're biological women, they have an advantage. So that probably
Yeah,
wouldn't
so
help the
so like
situation either. So, you know.
right. If a woman has an advantage because of a hormonal imbalance, clearly a male with, like you said, a higher lung capacity, a larger bone mass, all of that kind of stuff, that's a different strength dynamic.
Right.
And they're like it just is what it is. But I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. I appreciate you coming up.
Right.
Thank you so much for joining the panel. Thank you to everyone that hit the link and that supported the stream. I appreciate it. We'll let you guys know when Madison is going to when we get the full panel set up. I think that will be a good conversation. So we'll get you guys all squared away with that. So it's
Hey,
really interesting. This was like, yes, Van.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. So
Go ahead, Van.
I was gonna ask you to check out another trans woman channel. It's similar. It's similar to your channel name. It's called Let's Address It. Her name is Alexis Young, and it's called Let's Address It. She's a very pretty brown skinned trans woman. it's called Let's Address It, and
Why
then
don't
her
you
name is
go?
Alexis Young. So she's I think you like her channel. She's pretty and she's pretty brown skinned
No,
trans woman. So
no, 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 no.
All right. Okay. We will yeah. So like if the next time you want to promote a channel, make sure you inquire about our fees.
Sorry about that.
Right.
Sorry about
No problem, dear.
Okay. All right. Well, I just
I
thought, y'all kind of similar names to your channel. So,
nice. So I
man,
talked
and
to
she
you
might be
later.
somebody. She might be somebody that you like to have on your show.
Man,
So.
do you not know how to read the room?
Yeah, bye, bro. Like, what are we doing right now?
Ciao.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Y'all have a good one.
Bye, man.
Everybody.
Jesus. All right. So yeah, so this was kind of like a classic stream though, how it would happen back in the day. Remember?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's given 2018 tease. All right, see you guys later. Thanks for coming through. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. And if you're in the clouds, don't be a hater. Don't subscribe. We're in a relationship now anyway. Okay. Because they're going to recommend me. Bye-bye. See you guys later.